All right, guys, welcome to the podcast, episode 11. We changed the lighting a little bit back here, not much, but it's Kenny, as always. I'm Joe. It's the complaint department. We have Noah visiting us here this time. Noah does IT support, tech. I should really go over this before I start it. IT support.
Yeah. So, I've been doing IT support for about 5 years now. Anything from resetting passwords to working with robotic dogs. Some really cool shit that we've been doing, yeah.
Word. So we're going to keep some of the topics pretty tech-oriented. So if you're into that kind of thing, if not, I don't know, switch over to the next podcast.
Here's Joe's disclaimer.
Oh, it's adults only. No kids involved.
If not, you'll forget.
I know, but I'm pretty sure my niece still watches.
I know.
I don't know. I can't stop it. All right, it's just YouTube.
And then you got to do the like, subscribe, hit the button, or Joe's coming to your house.
Right? I don't know if that works. Did anybody click a like? Did anybody do it? Did you do it?
You want this guy creeping up in your house at night?
I'm kind of tiny. I'll fit through the door.
Yeah, the Tamu Steven Seagal.
I hope that guy watches. That guy didn't even subscribe, though.
I know.
He just left his little comment. The Timu. He said I looked like the Timu version of Steven Seagal, which is funny as hell.
And I see it.
So, dude, if you're watching,
right here,
that was hilarious. If you got more, throw them down there.
God.
Or try to compete with that, because that's funny. I'm sorry. I've seen some other ones on there, but they just weren't funny. So, we're going to go over... this one's going to hit trying to describe tech issues over the phone. Most of us are family tech support at our age. So it's going to be your grandma, your mom, your sister.
I'm looking at you, Anna Marie.
Does she watch?
She's going to.
She's going to now. Anna Marie,
she knows how to click a fucking link.
We're going to have to be on the phone with her telling her how to watch it. All right, so... next comment is, Amazon had trouble finding my driveway, so Noah here had to find my driveway to get here. He had a wonderful experience. We'll go over that. He has some complaint statistics he wanted to go over. We have car keys. Why aren't they a standard? IT support stories, maybe some Boston Dynamics you wanted to talk about. Why do websites make us click accept cookies? Like nobody cares. What online storage we use, what type of AI we use, and then some AI tools that we might touch on, which is our favorite, which one sucks. It's a whole breeding environment there that things are going off on. So, anything anybody wanted to bring up before we jumped into the first one? We're up to 62 subscribers. We appreciate all 62 of you.
Here's 3 of them right here.
And if Joe told you there was a regular release schedule to this show, it's not.
Nah.
He forgets to hit the button.
The last one was supposed to release. I clicked the wrong Saturday because despite what my mother tells me, I am not perfect.
So you might see this on Sunday 2 weeks after the last one, or maybe the Monday prior. Who knows?
We're going to try and do at least every other week. If we do one weekly, that's your little present.
Well, that's why I need a notification button on, though, so whenever he decides to post a fucking video.
You need to hit the like, subscribe button, because Joe is very inconsistent, and if you don't hit subscribe, you're going to miss it.
Thanks.
You don't want to miss this.
Whenever I get done editing. Doug knows I hate editing. I hate it. So the shorts, man, they're a real bummer. But, oh, yeah, I could go on a riff about that. But
You use those AI captions and hope for the best? Or...
Oh, yeah, I don't correct any of them. I go back and through, and then the AI screwed them up.
And sometimes the AI
eh.
captions are just more hilarious than what they would have been if it was written
I love when they show up before you actually hear it in the video, and you're like waiting for the guy to say it, and it's nothing even close to what the guy said. It's like
I imagine that AI does that, though, because it knows that those captions are not meant for people that can't really hear. It's meant for the rest of us that are just like, I don't want to turn my audio on, so I'm looking at it like, tick, 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 like, oh, his lips matched up to that. It's close.
Sometimes I have full sound on, and I don't even watch the video. I just stare at the captions. I'm Gen Z, so, I mean...
Yeah, I think that's because you're at work or something, and you're just like, well, I can't turn the audio on, but I got a minute, I can look at these. The funniest part is when I'm making them for this show, like, we say fuck, shit, all that stuff. Yeah. It'll put the word fuck, but then bleep it out. I don't do the bleeps.
Yeah,
it bleeps amazing. The audio, but doesn't bleep
Yeah, my favorite
the
is that it's written down. Like, oh, they can't read it, but they'll hear it. We might, influence them.
Yeah,
deaf people are pissed right now, dude.
Right. Let's see if we can insult an entire culture all at once. I get like a bug in my eye or something there.
Well, I mean, we are insulting them because now that you're not doing the shorts anymore, we don't have auto-generated subtitles.
Yeah, there's spiders over there. They're in the corner. They live here.
Oh, all the dead
This is their house, not mine.
Oh.
I mean, The bees did live in here for a very brief period of time until Joe caulked them in the walls.
Did you really?
Well, see, the way this house is built, like most people, like the basement, but like with the trailer, they built the basement and then just set the trailer on top. So all the blocks, because like a cinder block has the holes in it. Yeah. So like the bees can go in the holes, and then the top, they didn't seal it in any way. I think there's supposed to be like the topper thingy that they put on there.
They wanted it to still be a mobile home, just in case,
Right? Throw the wheels back on, take this bitch away. When I go camping, I'll take it with me.
Yeah.
Fuck the fridge. All the shit rolling around up there.
Detach the deck first,
Yeah. So speaking of the house, how'd you like that driveway? What's wrong with my driveway? I think it's fine.
Hold on. Did you even tell him what to look for when he was coming?
I said big green
mailbox.
Because
I know where you live, and I've overshot that mailbox on the reg.
You've never been here, so I have a big green mailbox at the end of my long driveway. Didn't say long and steep. He said long driveway. Kind of hard to find. Bullshit. There are signs that lead you up the driveway. Call me if you need help. Yeah, you need 4-wheel goddamn drive to get halfway up this drive. Dude, how do you do it? How do you do it with the snow or the Tesla or something?
It's terrifying. It's awful.
It's all-wheel drive in the snow. That's when he invites me over.
It's so nice to have somebody else say it. I say it all the time, and nobody believes me.
But if I still had my GTI, I wouldn't be here right now. Dude, because not only once you get up that high, you don't get flat pavement. You get pits in the road. It's like PennDOT had a field day here, dude.
Dude, this is PennDOT's training ground out front. They're like, you want to fill pothole? We got Joe's driveway.
It took them 25 years to build this, too. That's the funny thing. Like, it's like them working on
and then as you
Route
get to
30.
the top, you're like, I'm almost think I'm there. And then you're like, that's not Joe's. There's another sign.
Yeah, this guy has signs with logos of the fucking UPS, USPS, FedEx, just in case you make it all the way up and you don't realize it's the house. You still have the sign.
Well, I'm pretty sure the only ones that have ever missed it, though, have been Amazon. So the rest of them are just listed there as a precaution.
Because all of them are contractors. So
you gotta be nice, not call out Amazon and be like, it's fucking you.
You call out Amazon on every podcast prior to this.
Yeah, I put all the other ones on there, but I highlighted Amazon.
You ever got the guy on Amazon that shows up to your house in like a Toyota Sienna, like a 25-year-old Toyota Sienna, and he has your package? I'm like, who the fuck is coming to my door right now from a Toyota Sienna? It's my Amazon package. Yeah. They really cheaped out with these contractors, man.
I don't know. It's always the one, too, like I've noticed. It's the one overnight one. Like it says it's going to be there between 4 a.m. and 7 a.m.
It's like a Grubhub driver's like, yeah, I'll pick this one up on the way.
Swing past McDonald's, grab that, get your Amazon package, get your couch, come on over.
It's actually a pretty good idea. We should add Amazon to Grubhub, and then you could just like, I need an iPad and a burger.
Yeah.
Yeah, hit up 2 places on the way.
Like, you got a cheeseburger. You want to get an iPad with that? It's pretty popular. Yeah, let's do that.
I got a case of the shits, so why don't you stop and get some Modi Made on the way as well? Bring all 3 of those to my home.
Bring that big-ass receipt you get, too.
Yeah, I want those coupons. I'm going to need them.
And you're not using your bonus card. I'm using my fucking point. I want my points.
Yeah, come get my card first, then go.
Yeah.
Like, don't ask me for it.
Or put it in ahead of time so that it gives
maybe
the right
I'll
code.
think about it. Oh, yeah. Well, I put in directions how to get up my driveway ahead of time. We all see how that works.
Well, you also told them to put it in front of the garage door, and
I meant the people door, damn it! Not the big fucking door. Why would I want it in front of the big door? Why?
So if I drove up to somebody's house that had a sign, why would I care about what he wrote in the instructions?
When you say long driveway, I'm thinking long, windy. This is Eastern. We're Eastern Pennsylvania.
Well, it's Western compared to the fact it's not a city.
It's just very rural.
It's in the
I'm
woods.
always used to long driveways, but this motherfucker's driveway, dude. It's like this, and you're putting 4-wheel drive on. I'm saying if I had my old car, it has this much clearance, I would have never made it up to your driveway.
Oh, I had a GTI.
We would have had to do your
fucking... brought it up Joe's driveway.
We would have had to do your podcast at the green mailbox down there.
At the fucking bottom?
Yeah.
I'll bring the camera and shit down. We'll do it at the bottom.
Well,
wait, did you say your GTI made it up?
No, I never brought my GTI up here.
Oh, okay.
I brought my Jetta up here, but even then, I'm like,
That's sketch. I'm glad I'm driving Gabby's parents' car. If it didn't make it, sorry.
I'm
sorry, Carol.
As Mike said last night, because I told him we were coming over. Mike's his father-in-law. He said he was coming over.
Future.
He was gonna. We'll work. Fuck it.
Yeah.
The
maybe past, currently present. We'll see.
Depending on when Joe decides to put this video out.
Yeah, that's true. Might take a while to edit. I'll leave it But Mike's like, yeah, come up yours. He's like, oh, there goes the alternator.
Yep.
There goes the filter.
He told me about that when I picked up the car. He's like,
because he had to come up and put the baits in because he's a bug guy.
and he has his Orkin car with him, so he doesn't give a shit about
He
that
didn't give
car.
a fuck.
Guy smoking a cigar, fucking.
Mike will be a guest. I got Mike to agree on it. All I had to do is get him a little sloshed, and he said he'd do
You'll
whatever
love
I
him.
want.
Oh, we can
You'll
do
love
that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we'd love that.
Yeah. Yeah, that driveway, man. I'm not excited to go back down it too. Yeah.
You just go like this. Don't even let them.
Oh,
Well, I
Joe's
just gotta-
driveway is an admission like to Hershey Park without actually having to stand in line. You're like tick 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 boosh, tick, 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 boosh.
You never know if you'll make it up or not, you know.
Don't even have to buy tickets.
But I just got a brand new car, and if I had, dude, if I saw your driveway with my new car, I would have texted you and been like, "Sorry, dude, I'm not doing this."
This is why the Amazon drivers are like, I'm just leaving it on the mailbox. Go fuck yourself.
That's why Andy keeps canceling.
So,
on
do they
us.
leave it in the mailbox at all?
What?
Your Amazon packages?
Oh, they put it on the trash
I
can
was gonna
last
say,
time.
it's a long story.
Because my apartment
You gotta-
complex
you
said
gotta watch
they're
the
not
other
allowed to use the
podcasts.
mailboxes
They-
because they're owned by the USPS, so they're not allowed to put them. So I live on a
Yeah.
3rd floor and there's no elevators, and these sometimes it's fat bastards, dude. They're I've seen one flip off my Ring camera. Like they're like,
like it's your fault. You didn't build it on the
all
third
this for
story, right?
Alka-Seltzer. Fuck you. Like,
Look, I can
Order a case of water next time. Make that motherfucker.
I've done it. What's that called? Instacart. I've had them bring up my entire grocery order purely because I didn't want to bring it up myself. So Gabby and I one night were like, Sunday night, Instacart. Fuck it.
You know,
make them come up.
I
Tip
can
them $2.
sympathize with those guys because when I worked for Rent-A-Center, and I worked in Lancaster City, everything was on the 3rd floor. And at
Yeah.
the time, big screen TVs were actually big and heavy.
Oh, fucking
They
like
used to
CRTs
be,
and
right?
shit, or like
and
plasma.
I don't know if
yeah.
you guys are curious or up on how Rent-A-Center works, but if you don't pay, we come get it again. So
Well,
the third floor
I
was
might
kinda
be
like-
there more than once a week.
oh fuck.
It's like it's a deterrent. Like, you know what? They're on the 3rd floor. Fuck it. Just let them have the TV.
Yeah.
I don't want to get it.
No, that was not a deterrent. We were back and forth every week.
I used to do DoorDash to kind of, make ends meet. And in Lancaster City, dude, they'd be like, yeah, you go around this bend, go down this hill, go into this tunnel, and then look up. My door is on the westmost point of your... and I would just leave the bag, like, in the front of the... like, somewhere where it said that it's, like, applicable. It's like, yeah, it's probably right. And I took a picture. I'm like, good luck finding your food.
That's
I
not
didn't
where
know
I
you
thought
did
it was
that.
going to go. I thought he was going to be like, pull under the underpass, look up, flash the light 3 times. When the pigeon comes out,
if there's 2 lights, cross the water. If there's 1 light, go by sea. Like,
Throw the bag up. The pigeon will catch it, maybe. If the pigeon doesn't catch it,
no
you're
tip.
good. Yeah.
speaking of 3rd floor, when I was in college, I swear every time somebody helped me to move, they always lived on the 3rd floor, and they were moving to a 3rd floor, and I was like, you son of a bitch. And one time I got there, I don't know if you've ever helped anybody move, but you usually get there, right? And what? You open it up, there's boxes, right?
It's
Yeah.
mostly done. It's just boxes right into the truck.
I walk into this dude's house, looks like he's still living there. I'm like, I don't put it in the box. You put it in the box, and then I take the box. Like, I help you carry the bed. Maybe I gotta take the bed apart because you used it last night. But like, I'm not putting your fucking spices, your thyme, your oregano. I'm not putting all this shit in the fucking box. You put it in the fucking box.
That's why they called you, because if they had a moving company, they'd have paid them to do it.
What do
They're
they
like,
fucking-
look, I talked to a moving company. They were going to charge me $400. Joe's just going to bitch for 30 minutes, but he's going to do it.
He's gonna do a friend, so it's like, why wouldn't he do
He's
it?
going to be like, you fucking don't call me next time I need something boxed up. God damn it.
Hit the fucking button. Oh, I almost jumped your. That fucking thing jumped like that. Holy shit! And I didn't
We're gonna just
spill
put
it.
that right there.
Nah,
This is
that'll
why
make
we
it
need
worse.
a new table.
That's okay. We don't have the equipment's over here. We're all right. We're all right.
Why we need a new one.
Fucking friends. I swear to God.
I just
had
did
too
that to
many
my
fucking-
family, though.
Ah!
I was moving from
You
a...
at least boxed it up, didn't you? Oh no!
I'm very bad at scheduling and all that, and I'm like,
Ah,
yeah,
damn it.
it's a week before I move in. I have time,
So
Nah,
we
nah,
now know
Saturday
when Noah
morning,
says I need help moving. We are busy that
I am
week.
busy.
Well, and we moved to the 3rd floor. I swear, I'm sorry, Mike. I thought Mike was gonna die. I thought he was gonna die.
oh, Mike, I can't wait
Dude,
to get
'cause
Mike
he's
on
trying-
it. We're
he's
making
trying to-
notes for Mike.
Oh, yeah, I can't wait to hear Mike's moving story.
But he's trying to go up these stairs, and the poor bastard's like, and he's, I love you, I really do. But dude,
We all love Mike.
he was doing more work than me. I will give him credit, but he was helping like the younger guys. Like I had my friend with me and my mom's fiance, and you know they're helping. They're running up and down the stairs. Mike's trying to keep up, and Carol's like, "You need to stop him before he has a fucking stroke. Stop him." And I look down at him, and he's holding it. I'm good. I'm good.
I'm good.
I'm good. Give me a box. Give me the heaviest fucking box.
Mike says, I want to get the fuck out of here. Give me those fucking boxes. We're taking them now. But I'm not taking a break. I'll be here another 3 hours.
But like you said about complaining, they complain. Everybody complained, but they all did it. So it's like, I bought them pizza afterwards.
Well, that's the thing.
Or no, like, Carol bought the pizza.
It's like you have the choice. You can either spend.
Jesus.
You can spend.
She was upstairs
$300.
coordinating, you know. So like that there, that there,
right.
and
Yeah, you know.
You can either
That was different. Your
get a
family,
moving
though.
company.
This was a
spend
friend.
the money, or
I had one friend.
You're gonna be
beer and
friend.
pizza.
Huh?
You either spend $300 in a moving company, or beer and pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah, have you ever done
Beat
like
the fuck out of my friends. Hell yeah.
But do you ever help somebody move in and they don't give you anything? All right, thanks, man. See ya. I've had one.
I mean, college, it was like, yeah, well, I know you're going to help me because none of us had any money. So, yeah, that was pretty common.
I mean, I think the only time I ever had that, I wasn't sticking around anyway.
It was already boxed up. I'm not your fucking mom. I'm not doing that. So, was Gabby there?
What, for that move-in? Yeah, because we were moving in together.
Oh, well, then see, there was her family. It's like,
Yeah.
Well, she's pointing where to put
But
stuff.
we weren't living together at the time, so they came and helped move stuff, my stuff. I'm not gonna say everything wasn't boxed up, but like there was a lot of little shit that like was not touched. It still had dust on it. Like I didn't even try and move it. I'm like, yeah. We could just leave that shit. Leave the Oculus. Leave the oregano.
You're gonna get the rake of like, here's your cabinet, here's your box. There it is.
And whatever makes it. Yeah. The best word while moving with boxes, miscellaneous. We'll figure it out when we get there. We're only moving 10 miles down the road, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
It's better if they're like miscellaneous kitchen instead of just miscellaneous, because then at least you know which room it came from.
How do you know, right? Dude? I'm throwing shit from my living room to the kitchen thing, the shed into the kitchen thing. Yeah, we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out later. That was good. Do we want to move on to the tech support stuff? None of that had to do a fucking thing with tech. You're like, Joe, make sure it's tech stuff. I can talk about that. We haven't talked about a fucking thing for tech yet.
Well, that's fine.
He told us about a lot.
My driveway and the topics.
What? It's this button, right? To mute.
Yeah?
Yeah, I keep coughing. I don't want to blow out the mic or anything.
You'll be fine.
I've coughed on the thing and it doesn't matter. You'll just forget to unmute it and then I'll be more pissed. If it's that fucking bad, I can cut it.
Yeah,
I'm not going to give a fuck though. Maybe they will. If you care about Noah's cough, throw a comment down there.
If you've made it this far into the video, you're more than 80% of our viewers so far. So.
If you care about Noah's cough, you've now been infected with mind your fucking business.
I've been just perpetually sick for like 3 months. You ever get that? Where it's just like,
yeah,
you get better, like 20% better, then 80% worse. And then I don't know how Maddie is, or I don't know how Jen is, but they hate it when we get sick. Or
Oh, yeah. Every time we get sick, it's the man flu instantly.
Right?
I'm actually sick. I feel like shit. And she's like, well, I get my period every month. I feel like shit, and I walk around like nothing's wrong.
It's like the Biggest Loser competition once you get sick.
I feel like shit. I'm not acting like I feel good. All right? Like, no, you're sleeping on the couch. I hear one snore out of you. I'm kicking you out of the bedroom. Here's your pillow. Have fun.
It's like I'm crawling to the bathroom, and she's like, pussy.
Yeah.
I was there last week.
I know. You didn't hear me a bit. I threw up silently. I flushed that toilet, and I came back to bed.
It's fucking right. Yeah. Like our colds are worse. Yeah. It's like, they fucking are. They hurt worse. All right.
Yes.
You're built for like childbearing and childbirth.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm a little softy.
You could spend your whole life not getting kicked in the balls. You'd never know what true pain feels like. You get sick. It's like you're about to die.
Yeah.
I swear I'm dying when I get a head cold.
Yeah.
I got COVID 3 times in 6 months, and I thought it was it for me. Every time I got better, I'm like, oh yes. And then I worked at a hospital. I had a test. And I'm like, shit. And then you're out for a week, and then you feel like death. And then Gabby's like, I'm not seeing you for 2 weeks. I'm like, oh, okay. 2 free weeks.
He's like, I guess the stranger and I are going to hang out this week.
Hey, Pamela Henderson.
Yeah.
That's an old joke. That's like a 90s joke. I need to update my jokes.
She's still
You
around.
lost me with that one. Yeah. Over my head.
Pamela Anderson. Nothing. Damn.
That is
Am I
beyond
fucking
his
old
time
though?
period, though.
Fuck
yeah.
me. How old are
He
you?
wouldn't even. He
I was
doesn't
born
know
in
what Baywatch
post
is.
2001.
Fuck me.
Post 9/11. Sorry.
Post
Are
trade
you Gen
centers.
Z?
Yeah.
All right, we get some Gen Z opinion.
But I'm like the good part of Gen Z, where it's like...
Well, we haven't figured that out.
Let us judge that.
Yeah, you didn't know who Pamela Anderson is, so I don't know.
I know...
Hold on.
I mostly
You didn't know who
listen to...
Pamela Anderson... Do you know who Steven Seagal is? Did you get the joke at the beginning of the podcast?
I might date myself here. Is that the guy that's in... Oh, fuck. The guy that's in the Muppet movie? Fucking...
I mean, who hasn't been in a fucking Muppet movie?
The guy in the most recent... Not Muppet movie 2.
He doesn't know who Steven Seagal is.
I don't think he did.
I'm looking it up.
Oh, Christ.
Oh, you have a laptop. Look up... Let me see a face. Let me see a picture.
He doesn't even
Here,
know
we'll put
who
a picture
Steven
right
Seagal
here
was.
of him.
Kenny will sing while I look this up.
Joe's
Curry.
Sorry about editing. You got to put one of those news bars right there.
You're acting like I can spell.
Gen Z doesn't know who Steven
Joe
Seagal
and
is.
his tiny penis.
No fucking idea who that is.
Oh, my God!
So he didn't even get the
Who
joke.
am I thinking of? Seagal, the guy in the... Who's the other Seagal? Jason Seagal?
Who's the other Seagal? The one that
Jason
fucking
Segel?
flies
That's what I'm
above the
thinking of.
water?
Yeah, that tall guy. Yeah, I look
Yeah.
a lot like him. Fucking what?
What's he been in?
Steven Seagal, like, he has his whole thing. Like,
He's a
you
martial
know,
arts guy, yeah.
Oh, God.
Oh,
I
he's
can't-
not even like
Walker.
a...
No, that's not his
No,
name.
Walker was Chuck Norris.
Chuck Norris. You know Chuck
I know
Norris?
who Chuck Norris is.
Kind of like that. Like, bunch of, like, kick-ass movies, right? Except they were real shitty.
He was like a Kirkland brand Chuck Norris.
Yes, exactly. If I'm the knockoff of him, he was the knockoff of Chuck Norris. Yeah, exactly.
No, I could see that, though.
My dad loved this guy. Like, every Steven Seagal movie, it was on the TV. And it was like,
And
it was
at
like
the time,
the
they were
punches are this
entertaining.
far away. The guy, flew 50 feet back. Yeah, they were terrible.
He's never even seen like the I'm gonna kill you by just snapping your neck like this with two fingers. Like, nah, he's never seen it. Like, we're gonna have to.
Stupid martial arts
I'm gonna
like that.
forward
Yeah.
you some Steven Seagal clips.
We're going to
yeah.
educate you, boy.
It's funny because, like, I listen to 70s music. That's mostly what I listen to. And, like,
So I guess
Yeah.
they said I
don't
look
know
like
this shit, though.
this guy on the podcast.
Yeah.
Like with the hat.
Depending
I think
on how
the
you
hat
edit
is
it,
with
you know.
the hair. Because if I do this, then it's like, it's
no,
like-
I could see it, though. Yeah, you
No,
definitely
even the hat.
great
He
value
wears that
brand.
hat, too.
Yeah, great value brand.
Great
not
value.
even Kirkland. Don't give him Kirkland.
Oh, yeah.
You're not
T-Move.
$1.50 hot
They gave me
dog good.
T-Move,
Yeah.
so I,
Yeah.
Wish.com, it all moves. It used to be Wish.com. I guess we don't say that
I think
anymore.
I think
probably
they're
the
two
same
separate
company.
things, aren't? Oh, are they?
I mean, the same Chinese guy probably owns both.
I know, right? There's Wish, there's T-Move, and there's the other one.
And then there's Amazon,
Yeah, no shit.
and they sell the rest of it through
They're
there.
using cheap workers. That's all we know. Yeah.
Yeah, right. You're like a Tesla for $5.99. You're like, what a deal!
You're gonna get it in like 72 different pieces.
Oh my god, I need to put that up for Mike. Sorry, we're coming up all these for Mike.
What do you got for Mike?
The earrings that he bought.
They weren't earrings though. That's not what he bought.
I know, but that's what I'm writing down, and you know what I mean. Mike, I'm coming for you, buddy. I'm coming for you.
I'm sorry, Mike.
I've seen those Temu things though, where it's like you can buy an electric bike, and I'm like, if I buy that, I want to plug it into Joe's house first. Like, I don't want to find out it's going to catch fire in my basement.
If you can make it up the driveway, you can plug it in. All right, that's my defense mechanism. I don't need a moat. I have that.
Well, it won't even get delivered up your driveway.
No, it ain't happening.
Yeah, Temu just doesn't give a shit. They're just scamming you
Oh,
right
you
in front of your
know.
face, and nobody cares. They
Yeah, like
still
he
pay
was-
for it.
Like he was talking, you get an XL, you get it's like a child small.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, okay. Like, what do people look like? We need, like, not to be offensive. What
yeah.
do they look like over there?
I
How
really
big
want
are
to go
they?
over there just to see, like, is an XL really an extra small?
Right.
Like, really?
Or they're
Really?
just doing that to save on fabric. You go over there, it's really an XL, like it's a decent size, but they're like, oh, they'll never know. And they send us.
But
this
it's
little
probably like
fucking
forgotten subscriptions. They're like, most people are going to get that first one and just not send it back. They're not going to bitch about it. So we made $10, and then next time they know to order 20X.
thing. Yeah.
I've fallen into that loop with subscriptions, though, where it's like, obviously
takes
I'm
more
not going
time
to
to
the
cancel
gym
it.
currently, if you look at me, but, like, I've been on a Planet Fitness subscription now for almost
You
a
had
year.
me fooled, no.
Yeah.
Hey, this guy
Thanks, big
owns a
dog.
gym and he's looking better. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I do.
You ever go there and work
Fuck
out?
no.
Not to work out.
No.
He goes there to
45
install
minutes
shit.
away. That ain't happening.
Goes there to
45 minutes
install
there,
stuff.
45 minutes back. I get worn out with just a drive. I'm not going in there running on a treadmill, too.
Your car drives itself.
Yeah, well, sure it does.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
So does mine, but we can get into that.
Well,
Well,
So,
you've seen his
well-
driveway. There's not any lines for the car to, judge with.
The car's like, yeah, probably. You know?
That looks like a rock, maybe a squirrel.
They keep taking features away.
That's the Amazon package with some
with,
shelves
with
on
this
it.
car, I've never had safety features in my car
car
other
do you
than
have?
like I have a 2025 Volkswagen Taos.
Okay.
So it's
Okay.
like it's their crossover. They got rid of the Golf and the Passat, and they made it into that, at least in America. But it has all these safety features now that I never had. Like my GTI had a Mark 7, so it was like right before they added all the lane keep and shit. and now it has like the emergency brake. And this is a complaint, legitimate complaint. I get anywhere within like a foot of something, and it just applies the emergency brake, and it won't let me go back further.
You can't turn it off?
Just like I probably could. I haven't messed. I only have 2,000 miles on the car.
My question is, what does it use to do that? Because Mark Rober just came out with that video yesterday with the LiDAR between...
This is LiDAR.
Yeah.
So it uses LiDAR to do that. And he said in the video, well, not going to have any mess-ups. Is that true?
No,
I have visual.
But I
don't have
also
LiDAR.
think... I don't know how LiDAR exactly works. If you're too dusty, I don't know how that, like...
Laser beam shoots out, hits the object, comes back,
yeah,
and
it's
then
like
it
an
knows.
echolocation.
But like if it's too dusty...
Yeah, it's
like,
echolocation with light. There you go.
Yeah, I don't know. I got like close to like a curb that like literally got out and looked at it, and I'm like, I'm nowhere close. Or I was about to bottom out, or not even get close to bottom out, and I thought I was going to bottom out. Just put the emergency brake on for me, and I couldn't move. I had to put it in drive and come back the other way.
That's what I was thinking. Like, he did those things where he put like a kid and then a wall. And it's like, well, is there like an override? Because like, what are you just going to be stuck there?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, next time he tries to come up your
what
driveway,
happens?
he's going to get to the top, and it's going to be like, you can't go any further
Like-
in Joe's driveway. There's a dip.
I get it with these safety sensors. They're great to a point. Like lane keep assist and self-driving's great until it doesn't work. And then you can't intervene. Like auto start stop. Fuck auto start stop.
We just talked about auto start stop not too long
But I
ago.
didn't know anybody who had one.
It's a waste. It's a fucking waste. It's for the EPA to say
You're just burning out that starter.
yeah, and you're using up the you're recharging the battery with the alternator every time that you shut down for more than a couple seconds.
Yeah.
I think it just wastes time, it wastes energy, and it's for the EPA to say, oh, this car, is EPA compliant.
Oh, no, it's definitely so that they can sell you another part before the warranty is up.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm
It doesn't
curious.
save gas at all, though.
Yeah.
I'm curious with that LiDAR thing, though. Like,
Yeah.
because if you get close to something, like, you ever drive through a toll booth? Like, that kind of shit?
True.
What's going to
I
happen?
don't have any
like,
on
in
the
the bar's
sides.
down? Like, if you can't pull up enough to give the lady the money, you're fucking stuck over here, and you can't get the door open.
Ma'am, I need you to raise the bar a little bit so I can give you some money.
I can't. My car won't let me.
Put it up and it'll let me come closer.
I stopped following Tesla for various amounts of reasons other than I was never going to buy one because they're just too expensive at the time that I stopped. But I know that they stopped using LiDAR and they went back to using cameras. Was that a cost-saving method, or was that because maybe LiDAR isn't as convenient? Like
I heard
my
LiDAR
phone has a
is
LiDAR
expensive,
sensor.
but
It's great. I love it.
I know, right? So they're like,
I love it.
The reason I heard was cost savings. Like, that's why they're removing all the sensors from the car.
And it's just cameras, and you're hoping that a bunch of 4K cameras can
I imagine
do all the
cameras
same
are cheaper
shit.
than LiDAR.
Right,
just
'cause my
based on the
problem with-
technology because of what it is.
Yeah, I mean, not to call out other YouTubers, but I mean, he did, make the video, so it was funny because, like, I don't know. Did
You
you
said
watch
Mark Rober?
Yeah, did
I
you watch
didn't-
this
I haven't
one?
seen it
It was
yet, no.
literally yesterday, and he made a video where he was using LiDAR. The whole video was about LiDAR, right? So he made a video inside Space Mountain because apparently nobody's ever mapped out Space Mountain inside Disney.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was really cool, right? And then the other half of the video was, Tesla with their vision versus LiDAR, right? And my only problem with that was he didn't tell me the cost of the two cars. I was like, well, there's a cost, and then he also only did it with the basic autopilot. He didn't do it with the full self-drive. So I'm like, where's your cost at? If that's a $100,000 car and this is a $35,000 car, and you didn't activate the subscription, I'm like, I wanted more detail from what he did there. And then I looked in the comments, everybody was like, "Fuck Tesla, yeah!" And I'm like, it's not what I'm looking for.
It's just
whatever.
gotten too political now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So you're like, okay, well, fuck.
Do you actually not like the cars, or you just don't like the guy?
Yeah, right.
you know?
I get it. Like Elon's like, woo, having a good time over there.
But look,
You're
I'm
like,
going to say
well,
this just based on conjectural. I would say that LiDAR's got to be more expensive because think about it.
Has to be.
It didn't even come to our phones until a later period of time before it became more normalized that it was expected of the phone to have LiDAR.
Mean, that we'll get into the Boston Dynamics thing, but the robotic dog I have at work is $300,000, and it uses like 50 LiDAR sensors on it. So
Does it lick peanut butter off your balls?
First fucking program he loaded into that bitch.
Dude, I was like, I'm gonna take this one to the bathroom real quick.
Yeah, right. Oh,
And
no.
they never saw the robotic dog again.
Why is the dog cowering in the corner twitching? Like, oh,
It never turned back on. I put a new battery in it. It refused to turn back on. No.
But either way, with your question
But my
of
car's
cost,
like a base. I have the one step below the fully loaded, but even the base model gets the same safety features. And it's like MSRP for my car was like $35,000. I didn't pay $35,000, but like for $35,000, it has 6 LiDAR sensors on it. So,
well, but that would be if you do LiDAR and vision, you've got the cost of both.
Right? Yeah, it's not using the backup
doesn't
camera.
have vision, I wouldn't imagine.
It doesn't use the backup camera, and that's the only camera on it.
Like, how does it see the lines on the road?
I don't know.
Because you said it has lane keep or whatever.
It can do.
Was it seeing the fucking
Volkswagen calls it IQ
use
drive.
like the reflection because you know how some highways have the reflectors in the middle, but also the paint can reflect too.
Yeah.
So maybe
there's a lot of cool science that goes into that paint, how it reflects with the light. I don't know the science. I don't know the science at all. But I know there's cool science that's
right.
into
And
it,
then the Tesla argument, they can do the back roads. They can highway. I get it. And then most of the time, that's what you want it for, anyways.
My car
Tesla
just needs,
looks at the road and it's like, okay. But then, I mean, he's right. Like the stuff that he did, like. They fooled the Tesla with a big-ass picture. And you're like, well, no shit, because it's looking at the road.
Yeah, because now that they're back to cameras, it's like, well, how are you going to know? You don't know depth. You can't see depth.
Yeah.
Like, my car just needs a line on either side, and it can pretty much drive itself. It has adaptive cruise, so it'll slow down if somebody's in front. So it's not full self-driving by any stretch of the imagination, but, like, I drive to Harrisburg every day, so it's about 45-minute drive, and I pop it in. I'm on highways the whole time. Yeah. As long as my hand's on the steering wheel, it pretty much does everything for me.
So can you let go of the steering wheel at all?
So I can up to 15 seconds, then it'll yell at me, and then after 25 seconds, it'll pull off. It'll pull off the road, and it'll stop.
Oh.
If I don't do any intervention. The newer Volkswagens have a camera, like the ID4, the electric one, have a camera that actually watch your eyes.
Yeah.
So it doesn't care about if your hands are on the steering wheel, but if it knows that you're not looking at the road for an extended period of time, it pulls off.
Yeah.
So
but they don't ever use it the other way, because that's the problem with Tesla, is they'll use it against you, but not for you, unless you buy the full self-drive. Because there's the autopilot and the full self. That's my problem with it. They did another one now that hinders you more, but they didn't give you something. I'm like, you should give me I'm looking at the road, I don't need to fuck with the wheel. We used to have to fuck with the wheel because you weren't watching me. But now I gotta fuck with the wheel and you're watching me, then if I look away.
You're used to that movement with the fucking with the
wheel.
Yeah,
you jerk it off a little bit over here, you know.
That's all I have to do.
It's practicing for the robot dog, all right? I gotta, the dog does something for me, I do something for the dog, That's the way it works.
Well, I think when one of you asked how it works because it doesn't have vision, but I'm assuming there's more sensors because right above the rear view mirror, there's like a little box there, and I'm pretty sure that's what does the sensors for the lines. So
yeah,
it's not really a complaint. It's just annoying.
Yeah, I mean, there's multiple sensors. The cameras on the Tesla. That's where one is, right up behind.
There's so many cameras on the Tesla. I've seen you're pretty much covered on an accident. Somebody.
Oh, yeah, as long as it records.
Yeah.
Because it has its own dash cam software.
Yeah, like the Sentry mode.
It works about 80% of the time, which you're just like, that 20% is when I'm gonna have an accident.
When you're gonna hit a deer.
It's not gonna be recorded.
That's not just a Tesla thing though, because even my dash cam, the fucking interface sucks dog shit. So I've actually have to take the card out and put it into my computer and then just pull the video files because the interface to get to them is stupid.
Mine just won't be recording. So I thought, it's the flash drive's not fast enough, because I just found one on the shelf, plugged it in. I was like, whatever. I was like, okay, no, I bought like a high-speed one.
See, that's another cost cutting though, because they used to put a flash drive in the car.
Yeah. Oh, they're looking left and right to cut costs on those things.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much of it we get it back, because it's always been like $37,000, and then they remove 5 more things, and it's still $37,000. You're like, the fuck? But,
So while we're on cars, this is one of the topics I wanted to bring up.
Yeah, this is a good segue.
Fuck talking to Grandma.
I mean, we'll get there, but this is a good segue.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I mean, we're really just not on topic.
Look, I only talk to Grandma in the car, so we're good.
Yeah.
So we're going to bring up, I have 3 keys with me right now. So I have a company vehicle.
So you look like a fucking janitor over here.
I was going to say.
Yeah.
Hold that shit up. Like,
so I have a company vehicle right now. I have my Volkswagen key.
He didn't drive it here. We're good.
Yeah.
And I drove Mike and Carol's Nissan Rogue.
That's the one that he bogged up the drive.
Sorry, Mike.
Ford. This is a message to Ford. What the fuck are you compensating for with this size of a fucking key? Hold this shit. It's like a.
Is this the one where it actually pulls out though? Like, is this the?
I don't know. Does Ford pull out? Yeah, I think the key comes out if you squeeze. Yeah.
Yeah, like this is the.
But it's
That's
a push
pretty
start.
big though.
It's a push start.
My Kia
I mean, I
did
get that. Yeah, but this
wasn't that big.
I think that's why they do this. But it is the dumbest.
Well,
design ever.
no. Give me my keys here. Ford, fuck you. Here's my Volkswagen one, nice and slim. You pull this tab here, and you pull the key out.
All right. I mean,
This thing's lightweight. Can we standardize the size of keys? Who has this in their pocket and isn't like, why is this shit so big in my pocket?
Compensating
Here's
for
Nissan
something.
though. Nissan's okay. you
Yeah,
know.
that one's not bad, but it doesn't have the key with it.
It's a push start.
So what do you do when you get locked out? Mine was a
This
push
one,
start, but
this
the
one
key,
also has it.
My. Whoa!
That's okay.
It's gold
Does
too, or
Maddie
brass
have
or
that?
something.
They're getting.
She's got that same thing. I didn't know it did that.
Joe just learned something.
So it has
today.
remote,
that!
but it even has remote start too. Why? Why?
That's
why?
massive.
That is ridiculous.
And this
That
is for
This is like America. Like,
it's-
we need that big one over there.
Well, that's when you have this, you have to get the truck, and then you have to get the balls separately and hang it on the back. 'Cause this is what it's for.
This is a mom car though. It's a 2024 Ford Escape.
well,
So
then
it's
she
like,
needs balls on the back.
so it's not like it's like a F-150. Like
Yeah.
but I'm just partial to Volkswagen.
I mean-
everybody knows I am. I
I'm a
love
Volkswagen guy
yeah.
too. I like my Volkswagen.
What's yours? Is yours like that?
Yeah, I mean mine's not quite that bad.
Switchblade one.
Yeah, I got the old school Switchblade.
Yeah,
Those were so cool.
I had
though.
that in my Rabbit. Yeah.
Those
Oh, I
are real
play with
cool.
this all the time.
Oh, do
Yeah.
you?
It becomes like a
Oh,
fidget.
yeah.
My GTI
toy.
had that
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
I had a car that I think my Kia had that. Then
But
my
what I
Hyundai
hate
had the
is-
one that pulled out. My Kia
This
was like
is
that.
Jen's keys because you can tell there's extra. Like for me, since this is so big
Oh,
and
yeah.
takes up all the spot in my pocket, mine would only be this and this initially, just the
Yeah.
bare minimum what I need.
But would you put this in your pocket daily and not be pissed off about it?
I don't drive to work anymore, so at this point, I'll put it in my pocket every day. It don't really matter. But I mean, I get where you're saying, but it is one of those things. Where
I
it's
just
like,
think it-
why?
Everything is push start and remote unlock. And I have an app on my car now. I can remote start and everything. Why do I need this?
Well,
Does the car let you in with that?
So I can't start the car. I can only do remote start. I can't actually drive without the keys. I can unlock the doors. I can do climate control. I can lock the doors and I can remote start.
Like when you walk up to the car, it knows you.
no,
So you
I
just
would have to
open
go
it.
in the app and click unlock.
okay.
But I never not have my keys on me.
Yeah.
But it has a button to unlock the car.
okay.
See, my GTI, they cost cut with that. Talking about cost cut, my GTI had a sensor where I put my hand in the door handle, unlock the door. This one, I got to press a button. I know it's a shitty thing, but like, come on. I had a 2016, now I have a 2025, and I have to push a button now? I don't know.
Yeah. They do break things every once in a while.
well, and I think a lot of that too is that they're like, it seems like a really cool idea, and then they have to replace it 1,200 times in the first month they put it out, and they're like, we're not going to do that feature anymore.
Yeah,
that
yeah,
costs
for
us
sure.
a lot of
Well,
money.
that's what Volkswagen did with their new shit with all the touch sensitive stuff. They don't have any real buttons in their dash anymore.
Yeah.
But it's not just a screen.
Is everybody
It's-
going Tesla with that shit?
Well, now Volkswagen's going back
Volkswagen's
on
going
it.
back to buttons.
And
yeah,
I
because
got
the
I
touch
got
screens
one
were
that
out too.
had their old style buttons still, but it had the newer safety features and shit. But sorry,
Yeah, he's going to touch your tits. That's how it works.
you get a free touch.
I didn't go to the gym, so I got plenty. Yeah.
Hey, you fucked with a dog. I'm fucking with you.
What?
The Tesla dog. Or the,
Oh.
the Tesla dog. The Boston dog.
He's like, what dog? I didn't do anything to your dog. Joe." He's like, I programmed the robot one. I didn't touch yours, man. It's okay.
That's why your dogs came up to me and then
Totally.
they realized who I was and they ran away.
They're like, he didn't bring Jif. Get the fuck out of here.
But
If
anyways,
the podcast ever
yeah.
dies, I'm gonna reach over for a tit squeeze. That'll boost it right back up again, right in the ratings too.
Exactly.
I just I don't know. I don't like Ford. I've never liked Ford. I feel like their build quality is just not great.
I mean, to go along
But-
with that, the Tesla one, it has the app,
Right.
and then it knows Bluetooth. When I get close to it, it just unlocks, and then for there, so they could do
So
it.
my car doesn't do it for anything cool, but it connects Bluetooth. So Geico is integrated with the Volkswagen app, and I just switched to Geico. Insurance companies, by the way, I had to switch insurance for this car because my old insurance company, Erie, fuck you, went from $2,000 a year to $6,000 a year if I wanted to.
Why?
They were
Did
like,
you run some kids over?
My
I
God!
won.
Did they hear about what you did to the dog? What happened?
Apparently.
You became Jared
Dude.
from Subway.
I was about to buy the car, and I'm at the dealership, and I'm like, wait, I just got a quote, $6,000. That's more than the car payment? No. So I had to go to Geico, but it's integrated with the Volkswagen app, and as I drive, it does a score and everything, and then it'll actually lower my payment if I drive good.
Well, that's because they bump it up at first, and then they're like, we're going to give you
Right.
a little bit of a discount.
But it's actually
you
cheaper than
brake
what I
too
was
hard
paying
on
with
this
Erie.
curve.
It was cheaper than what I was paying with Erie
Yeah,
for
no,
my
I get you.
GTI. So if it gets down even lower, I'd be happy. I'm already happy with it. But yeah, that's the only reason it actually connects to Bluetooth other than wireless CarPlay. So
I have Erie, but then they told me about this Erie 15. Once you've been with them for 15 years, then there's never a deductible after you've been with them for 15
Really?
years.
Local
and I'm like at
insurance.
like 12 years. So I'm like, oh, you know,
he's about to hit that $6,000 quote.
The 2 years
They're gonna be like,
they
you got 1 year
jack
left.
it.
And he's like, it's gonna be $10,000 for insurance this year, Joseph.
Yeah, that last year they got it figured out.
Those year-long lifetime deductibles.
That poor
Nobody
bastard.
ever makes it to 15, jackass.
Or they're like, Joe claims something on his tire. We're gonna cancel him. Hell, we restarted you. You're a new customer again.
Yeah.
I'm calling my bank. Yeah, I need a loan for my car insurance.
Yeah.
What the fuck do you need car insurance? Yeah, they quoted me $15,000
I've never switched to
for a
insurances.
2008 Honda Civic.
I've never switched insurances. My understanding is switching insurances every 6 months is the way to keep it down, because if you're a good driver, everybody keeps checking your report, but if you don't, they never check it and they just keep charging you anyway.
Yeah.
So whether you're doing good or bad or not.
I just call
Now,
them bitch
I have-
every once in a while, and then they lower
I have
it. and I go,
the
"Ah."
brand loyalty, so I stick with the same person that did my shit when I was young, because why not? But
Well, that's what
I mean, if
with
they did
Erie.
that to me, like, that's ridiculous. Yeah.
No,
I'd be
my
like,
insurance
yo.
lady, she sends me this long-winded email. She's like, I don't know why it's quoted like this. Apparently, Erie, they insure. They're one of the few around here that still insure Hyundais and Kias that were affected by the break-in,
TikTok break-in thing.
the break-in thing.
yeah.
So
I was the year
everybody
before
pays
that.
for that. But everybody pays for that. Their insurance. So they're one of the few that still do it. She's like, find somewhere else that's cheaper. You're gonna find something. You're a good driver. So she, it's the first time an insurance agent's like, don't go with me. You know.
Well,
I mean, that's a good insurance agent.
Yeah.
Well, I've been with her. Well, my parents were with her since we moved to Pennsylvania in 2003.
Oh,
So I mean, she's like,
I know, Mom
she's like
got me
family.
with-
It feels like.
yeah, Mom got me with them, and they've always been fine. You know?
Yeah.
I felt there was only one time it was like, what are you doing? Like, I don't understand how this worked, but after the accident, they were looking at the car and be like, well, there was a ding here and you never reported that. And then they wanted to take money off. And I go,
Yeah.
but I still kept paying the same premium. So
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm still paying for a perfect car, right? We're all assuming this is a perfect car.
Right.
Now there's a ding in the door. We hit the garage or something. Like, who cares? Like, it's a little ding. Like, who cares? I'm not trading the car in. So, but then they wanted to take like $300 off of what now the car got totaled in a separate accident then.
Yeah.
So then they were like, they wanted to take that money off. And I'm like, how does that work? I'm like, so you wanted me to like call you up, make a claim, cost both of us money, and then get it fixed when I just let it go and still kept paying the same premium. I'm like, how does that work?
Insurance is ridiculous. It's not
I
just
did
car
get 'em to
insurance.
re-
It's like health insurance.
That's
and
how the
all that,
liability
yeah.
works, yeah.
Yeah, like, the fuck? Anyway,
It's ridiculous.
yeah, I get full coverage. I'm not, because I know I'm an idiot.
I got limited tort,
then-
but
It was like
I
I
have
got
full
the
coverage, I
rental
think.
car thing too. I don't know. if that-
I got a really good rental car with Erie. I got into a little fender bender. I rear-ended somebody in the rain. And for 3 months, I had like a brand new Nissan Rogue.
yeah.
And I drove the shit out of that thing. And I'm like, it's not my car.
I didn't have it on my policy. I didn't know. And
Oh,
then I
I-
went to
yeah.
go get it, and I was like, fuck. And then I was like, how much is that to add it? And they're like $10 a year, and I'm like,
Do it.
$10 a year?
Yeah, and you didn't even ask me
That's
if I
like
wanted
90 cents a month, my man. Go fuck yourself. Put it on there.
Yeah.
Right?
Who is bitching?
Especially when it's a better car most of the time, because you call Enterprise because they give you like a $30 a day allowance. Give me the nicest car that you have. And
Well, what they're doing is they're like, we're going to give it to Joe for $10 a year, but he's going to subsidize it at $7,000 a month.
We already charged Noah like $6,000. He's good over
We'll
there.
give you $10. We already got Noah. He signed up for another car and everything. It's going to keep going.
I was gonna say something, but I'm gonna keep that redacted in case I actually do it in life. I'll tell you guys off camera.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't get the good stuff. You gotta go up the driveway to get the good
The
stuff.
Patreon link will be in the comments.
yeah.
Patreon?
Yeah.
Patreon.
Patreon. That's okay.
He says niche and niche. Let him go, okay?
All right.
You call it GIF? You
No.
fucking millennial?
The gifts?
Yeah.
They're gifts.
Okay.
They're gifts?
I don't know. He says Patreon. I don't
mean,
trust him.
The
anymore.
moving pictures that you send in
Yeah,
text
I say
messages
gifs.
are gifts.
I say
they
gifs.
are.
Gifts. Yeah.
Fuck anybody else who says GIF.
I say GIF, yes.
Yes. Because it's GIF. And we invented them. And you
And I know
inherited them.
I know it's Patreon, but my favorite is that every YouTube person I've ever heard say it is Patreon. And I'm like,
Wow.
really?
And I'm not donating
Are
because
you
of
patting
that.
my nuts or what? Like,
I'm not donating if you can't say it right. I don't do any of that stuff. Maybe somebody will do it for us. They can't. We don't have one.
not yet.
Not yet. Doug!
Doug, Joe said you have nothing else to do these days.
I did look into
in your
it.
nomadic lifestyle. He would love you to set up, websites for him.
I did look into it. It's like $1 worth of cost. Like just
really?
like when somebody, like so if I give you $1, they'd eat all of it.
Yeah.
Because there's like a base price and then there's a percentage price I think they take. I don't know. I have to look into it again. Because I confused between that and credit cards. This is very similar with the policies. All right.
What do we got on the actual topics?
On
I
the
think
actual
we just wasted
topic
like
list,
an hour.
We are 45 minutes in. Why don't we start on
Welcome
the topic?
to the show, everybody.
Welcome to the show again. We were supposed to talk about, I should bring napkins if I'm going to slam when we have open containers. We're supposed to talk about describing tech issues over the phone to an elderly person or maybe somebody who doesn't know tech.
Yeah.
Right? And like, if you've never been in that situation, that is the most like nails on the chalkboard.
Even if you're not like an IT professional, if you have touched a computer in front of your grandparent, you're their IT support.
Right.
And that's it. You might, like, when I was not in IT support, they were like,
That's a good thing.
No.
Right.
There we go. All right, go ahead.
now the moment's passed, I'm done talking.
Oh,
no,
all right. I
no,
ruined it.
no, but like if you touched a computer, before I was really in IT support, they'd call me about their printer and shit, and I'm like,
You're of that generation? Wait. In our generation, they called about the remote control to start. Because remotes were, and then they got the universal remote because they had like
program
3
them.
remotes,
Yeah.
and then so you missed out on the remote deal. Okay,
The literal booklet of thousands and thousands of codes that might work.
I guess the best, area where I started is when, I remember when my dad came in and hooked up Ethernet for the first time. I didn't grow up in modem generation at all. I didn't use a 56K modem.
you missed out on the AOL. Downloading porn. That was
Oh,
the way to go.
man.
One picture coming up.
Dude,
Yeah.
it made your heart on last forever. You're like, come on, 3 more pixels and I got this.
You were significantly less picky.
Yeah.
Right? You
Now
were
I got
like,
fucking Boston Robots dog that'll do it for me. Like,
Like back then, we were like, I need 1 picture. It's going to take 20 minutes to download. My parents are going to be gone for 40. I think I can handle this. And nowadays, it's like I'm going to pull up 4 videos, sift
Have 'em in
through them.
picture in picture.
That's not good enough.
yeah,
And then I'm going to hire the dog.
right? It'd be so different in real life. You see all these hot chicks in front of you and you're like, no. It's the only time that it's reversed, right? Because on Tinder or something, you're like, yep.
All right,
But on porn,
yeah.
you're like, fuck that. No.
she has a mole there.
Fuck you.
Fuck out of here.
Fucking 5,000 pages. Fuck you. Right? Like,
Horrible lighting.
yeah. I'm picking on that.
I figured, we
Yeah,
spent plenty
right?
of
Let's
time
say-
lighting this up.
We're going to have all the porn stars commenting on our lighting, be like, fuck you.
She blinks weird.
It's funny. Where were we at on that?
IT support. For
How did we
people.
go from my grandma IT support?
I was
I'm
talking
sorry.
about how
That is my fault.
I remember the day that Comcast came to my house and hooked up Ethernet, and yeah, that was a big deal for us.
All right.
5 megabit down was a big.
Oh, yeah.
It
Joe's
went,
still getting out here. That's the best speed they offer.
Xfinity. Oh man,
I upload all
Xfinity.
these videos on AOL, yeah.
That's why it takes 2 weeks and not on a schedule.
That's it. I start uploading right when we're done. Takes that long for it to get up there.
I'm on their promo price right now for Xfinity. I pay gigabit. I pay $50 a month. I got a yearly reminder on my phone to call because my gigabit will go from $50 a year
To 150.
or a month to $275 a month
Yep.
for gigabit.
Wow.
Nothing special. 20 up, 1,000 down. So same thing with Gabby's parents. They're paying an exuberant amount for the double play for that shit.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, at one point we were paying $75 a month. Now for the same shit, we're paying $280. I'm like, it's
shit.
insane.
Yeah, mine just went up this month. I was supposed to call in February, but didn't go up in February, so I was like, okay.
Yeah, mine just went up to
Now
like
it went
100
up.
or whatever because the
Yeah.
plus deal or whatever ran out, so I got to call.
And
be
you're like,
Promo
"Look."
deals are ridiculous.
you could just bog down half of your phone calls because I'm just calling going, what deal is on this year? Sign me up for that.
I mean, you can
go up
use the
$10
automated-
instead of 200.
You can use the chat specialist to get a deal.
Well, and I
remember
if you're-
last time I called?
No.
That whole story?
Well, if it's
Oh
Monday
my
through Friday,
God.
9 a.m. to 5 p.m., you get somebody in Philadelphia. Anytime after that, you're getting their outsource.
Like, I mean, I don't have any names or anything, and this is like a serious story. I called and I was like, just being like, hey, normal person, like, hey, how's, just calling in for the deal, I'm paying $150. This is ridiculous, the whole nine. I'm like, I don't want to yell at you. Just tell me the deal.
Yeah.
Right. And so like, we get to talking, right? And then we get like in like personal territory, right? Like, I'm pretty sure, like, long story short, we will summarize like an hour phone call to, I think I talked this lady off a cliff.
Oh, that's right. I do remember this.
You remember that?
Yeah, she was having a very, you were her lifeline. You were 988
I was her,
that
like,
day.
yeah, I was her guardian angel that
She
day.
gonna kill herself or something?
She was definitely having a shitty day.
It was getting like that. And I
She
was
basically
like,
said, if your tiny little Timu ass didn't call me today, I was going to jump afterwards.
it was
Tiny
like a
little
Friday.
Timu ass.
Yeah, it got
Steven
that
Seagal,
serious.
Timu,
And I was like,
yeah.
well, I'll help somebody if I can. I was like, I mean, she's giving me $20 off my cable bill. At least I can do is talk her off the ledge. Right, so
I was gonna say a nice heartwarming story, but now that you're telling me that you just talked her off a cliff, I mean, shit.
dude, it was crazy. Like, I mean, she just got like broken up with after a long relationship that they were engaged. It was a whole thing. Like, and her sister's doing better than her, and her family hate. It was a lot.
I forgot.
I mean, how do you know all this when you just asked for $20 off your cable bill? You're like, I didn't ask for all that, but
I got the triple play. It's $300. I want it to be $175. I'm gonna kill myself.
I can do that deal for you, but I'm going to end it after this, okay?
Right.
We're going to hang up.
He's going to fire me, and
Yeah.
that's it.
Obviously,
I've given this deal out 17
All
times
because
today.
Joe got a deal.
Right? It was like,
I'll give it to you,
what
but
if she-
I'm done.
what if she's got somebody else? Be like, thanks, click. Like, fuck.
Well, I got a heartwarming one for you.
Good.
So we just went on a cruise. I just got engaged. And
Congrats.
Thank you. So we wanted.
Welcome almost to the club.
Yeah,
I
almost
thought
to
you
the
were
wedding
one
club.
of the smart ones, though.
We'll figure it out. Maybe we'll postpone the wedding a couple times.
Yeah.
No. So I wanted to make sure she could call everybody. I could call everybody when we got to the next port because I did it on a sea day. And I called FirstNet because I'm AT&T. I was a first responder. IT techs aren't first responders.
Yeah.
But they give it to us. So I'm FirstNet. So you call AT&T, first ring, you get a real person. I get this sweetest woman I've ever met. We talked for 50 minutes about, I said, yeah, I'm going on a cruise. And I told her, I just want to get, I wanted to make sure we had the mobile hotspot and all the extra, country coverage, whatever. She's talking to me about how she just got off of Jimmy Buffett's fucking Margaritaville cruise and how her and her husband are planning on just going to every cruise. I'm like, lady, I love you, but like, I just want, it's $5 more a month. I already decided I'm fine with it.
Look,
But no,
Noah,
she's talking to me. She's like, you get engaged. You send me pictures and shit. I'm like, I don't
if
even
you
remember your
listen
name.
for 20 more minutes, she just said, I used to work for Xfinity and I was going to kill myself. And this guy called me and I got a job at AT&T. So you just take that
AT&T
engagement.
called
bud.
me the next time after him, and they were like, hey, you want a job? And I'm like, yeah. And I could give people deals on FirstNet, But no, it was like 50 minutes of just us talking about cruises and engagement. She was asking about the ring and shit. I'm like, I am never calling again.
She's writing down his number.
Fucking. He still texts her.
Well, no, because we were
Still
talking
keeping
about
good
this the other
contact.
night, and I'm like,
She's on the podcast next week.
Joy from AT&T.
she's talking about she went on her first cruise last year, and she's going on 5 more this year. And I'm like, yeah, okay. So I didn't know AT&T paid that well, but okay,
Yeah.
But if I got her name or something, I would call back and be like, hey, she just wasted an hour. I'm assuming she gets paid by the hour. She just wasted an hour of her time talking about absolutely nothing. She got the rate changed within the first 45 seconds of the call.
Yeah.
The rest of the call was just
Before
her
I
call.
saved that lady's life, that took 10 minutes. Yeah.
But what
You
you guys
could've
don't
hung
realize
up.
on the
Yeah,
back end is,
I could have hung up.
because I've worked in enough of those call centers
Yeah.
and stuff, their computer takes that long. So they're like, I know it only takes 45 minutes to actually do it, but the computer to save and not shut off on me during the process.
Don't you guys know?
I've got to have the conversation with him and be like,
Yeah.
hey, how's
them
the
occupied,
ring? And
yeah.
it's almost there, and I got to hit the accept cookies. And
No, she was genuinely interested about my life, and I'm like, yeah, well, it was a nice conversation, but I'm not ever wasting an hour of my time again talking to them.
Speaking of wasting time, the whole porpoise I was poipus. The whole
Poipus.
porpoise I was talking
Oh, yeah.
What
about
dolphin
that
did
was
you
when I
bring
would
on?
call Grandma back when she lived up in with Grandpa before he
Yeah.
passed away. And she'd like call me because I gave her the router and the modem she was using. So that means I'm getting the call when it doesn't
Lifetime
work.
tech support. Yep.
Right? And what's step one? Right?
reboot.
Reboot it.
Unplug it, plug it back in. I was like, well, it gets jammed up. Whatever happens. I'm like, you just got to unplug it and plug it back in. So I'm on the phone with her, and I might have been on the other end of a UFC fight. I'm not real sure. But I was hearing like, damn it, Robert. Like, I'm like, what are, like, just, unplug, plug back in.
Because old people, they shove it behind the most inconvenient, that big-ass fucking desk with the library and shit that hasn't been touched in 25 years.
cutout
They
for
take
the
the router, and they're just like, doink. And they're like, it's going to go back there forever.
They're like, I don't want anybody to see that spaceship-looking thing.
Yeah.
Hide it.
Like, you're going to have to unplug it.
They might think I've moved into this century with Wi-Fi.
When the robots take over, you got to be able to unplug it, right? We got to have that as an
It's ridiculous, man.
Yeah. But it's always so tough.
Or they ever put the power strip behind that big-ass desk? They set it up once, and they knew, we're never going to have to deal with this again, right? We're going to put it behind a 5,000-pound desk. We're going to have
fire hazard way down deep in there, stuffing it with all
that's
the
the
dirt.
routers. The routers get hot as hell, and they're just in the most inconvenient, overheating spots.
Mm-hmm. Especially nowadays, all the smarts and stuff in the house. Like, jeez.
Oh, my favorite is when you go to their house and they've got like the old cable box that still puts off about 1,500 BTUs of heat, and then they've got the doily over top that's just directing it at you.
Oh yeah, the doilies everywhere.
Yeah, and
The
it's
ones that use the credit card size thing to get the license from Xfinity.
Have the doilies companies like gone out of business now? Like that generation's like phasing out.
Well, Joann's is going out of business, so if you need doilies, now's the time.
Joann's, fucking
Go get them for a discount.
AC Moore, they're all out. Yeah, you better get them now.
That's true.
Or else you're gonna get a Temu one. It's gonna be about this big.
Yeah, you better order the 10X.
Oh, yeah. But heaven forbid you actually have to go into the start menu or something like that. I had to teach, I was required at my job one time, and my supervisor, I said it, but I was also young. He comes up to me and he goes, it was a vision system, right? And so he tells me, he's like, so, you set it up once and then, train somebody else to set it up. And he's like, do you think you can get anybody to do that? I was like, yeah, I mean, it's just like moving the pole, tighten it, open up the program. I already wrote the program. You just need to click it.
Yeah.
He's like, you can get anybody to do it. Oh, my God. He sent me over. I swear, if she was 82, I was saying she was young. Like, holy shit. So she comes over, and I'm like, oh, just go to the start menu, and then go to programs. And she goes, what's a start menu? And I'm like, fuck me.
Yeah.
And fuck you.
So have you ever done IT support?
And that was in person.
Actual professional IT support?
No.
It gets
Is it worse?
Yes.
Yes and no. You learn the terminologies that they understand, and that's the best part of it.
Sometimes. It does depend where you work. In your case, probably worked very well because you're working with the same deal of people all the time.
Yeah, so I've always done internal IT support. I've never, except for the people in the family. But it's always been IT support, so I know, and if worst case scenario, I say, what's your username? Blink, and I'm remoted in. So yeah. But
yeah, that's the way now.
Yeah.
Before that was like, oh my gosh.
yeah, what's your IP address? Do you want to know my address?
Yeah, I want to go visit you after work.
My favorite was working at Bonton for the retail systems. And then the problem is that while you know the terminology for your group of people, Bonton was built with different companies that they acquired over time. So this one calls it like a thin client, and this one calls it a modem, and this one calls it a tower, and you're like...
One says VDI.
Yeah, you're like, is this thing plugged in? And they're like, I think so, it's got a light. And I'm like, is the light on the power strip or on the tower, man? Like, come on.
You ever they think the monitor is the computer?
All the time.
I'm like,
No.
we are not
All
more
the
expensive.
time.
We do not have IMAX. Like we...
That's why they did it.
But it's like, so, like you said, thin clients. It's a very tiny thing to the point where at the hospitals, we would just put it behind the monitor. They would never even see it.
Those things that are like...
99% of the time they work.
They don't have to touch it.
Yeah, they're connected to the internet. They're working. VMware is working.
Exactly.
And these people, I used to get tickets, computer not turning on. I would go up, blink, monitors off, close ticket. Or you'd be like, the computer isn't working, go up, and the computer's not powering on, the monitor's broken.
Yep. The best
I'll
is
try
when
and
you're
restart the computer and shit, because I'm like remotely, I'm like, I'll just send a remote reboot to it and it should be fine. Computer still isn't working and the monitor's fucking broken.
But see, you have the ability to walk there and look to verify that. Like when it was my case and we worked over here in York, and the Bonton we're talking to is in like California, and you're like, is there a light next to the switch?
You know what I've gotten around with, and this is just because I'm more modern times, Do you have an iPhone? Yes. All right, FaceTime me.
I will say, at this
yeah.
point in time when I was doing this, video messages and stuff were not a thing.
Right.
Camera phones had just come out. Like it was,
Take a picture and send it to me, or
yeah,
not
it was
even
that silver picture phone, and then that was only if you had MMS on your side
Right.
too. So it wasn't a cost efficient.
No,
thing
dude,
yet.
sorry, I don't have the Palm Pilot yet. Like, I'm still using my Motorola.
Exactly.
Draw me what it looks like on your Palm
Send it
Pilot.
in the mail. Open up MS Paint and just draw a diagram for me. Email. I
Email it.
can't open MS Paint. The monitor isn't working. Fucking. I'm sorry, dude. So I'm at the point where like I don't do tier 1. We have an MSP. You know what an MSP is? We have
I do, but
we have an
Do
outside.
they?
So
go ahead.
MSP is an outside company that does your tier 1 work for you.
It's a
so
third
like
party. So
yeah, so like resetting passwords and shit. They'll call that help desk. We'll call it our company name, help desk, and they'll call in. They usually have 5-10 companies that they might license to, but they take care of all the easy shit. So I don't have to do any of the like, oh, my account's disabled because I put in the wrong password too many times. It's not Crazy Kitten 5. It's Crazy Kitten 5 exclamation point. People, the amount of people that just teams you their fucking passwords, dude, is crazy. Hey, my password isn't working and it's this. No. So I don't have to do any of that anymore, but it might be the only reason I'm still in IT because I can actually do like real things now. Like I'm not just like spending days in Active Directory just fucking reset password to Crazy Kitten 5 penis exclamation point. Like, yeah, MSPs are as much hate as they get, they still help a lot with some of the basic stuff.
And I'm gonna guess because I don't deal with an MSP where I'm at now, but I'm pretty
What's
sure
it
it's
stand for?
Microsoft support personnel or Microsoft support.
Oh.
Mine's
portal.
I think it's no MSP is like managed
Service provider.
provider.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I wondered because there are some that are specific to Microsoft
Yeah,
now that I've
yeah.
seen because Microsoft 365 is the new
Yeah.
environment that everybody's going to. So there are
Yeah.
specific teams you can hire to do just the initial support for like SharePoint and shit.
Right.
And then only escalate it if it's beyond that to like some extravagant thing. So I wasn't sure.
We just
if, like,
went through that with Microsoft about
Yeah.
a calendar issue, and I went through 3 different layers of MSPs before I actually got to actual email addresses with @Microsoft.com.
Wow.
Like I got through like tech system at 32 whatever random email addresses, but yeah, dude, the amount of Microsoft admin centers there is now is ridiculous. There's 365 admin, Exchange admin, Entra admin, Intune. They all do the same thing. They all just direct you to the same thing.
Yeah.
But you have to sometimes go into one menu on 365 to trigger something in Intune. Like Intune's supposed to be the mobile device management. This is kind of things I'm probably out of everybody that's watching's realm, but that's kind of the shit that pisses me off. But
my
Well,
favorite
yeah,
is if
that's
you
why
want
I
to
bring
change your
people on because
Yeah,
then they can
picture.
give an insight into it.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
on the other side of it, like because I don't know if I'm being a dick. I've never been in tech support other than family tech support. So when I'm calling our IT guy, it's like, dude, I already unplugged it and plugged
Yeah,
it back
yeah.
in. The monitor's
and we
on.
appreciate that.
I got all that taken care of. This is actually broke. It's behind your stupid security thing. I can't do a dick thing about it.
The problem with that
Please
is
help.
when you tell us that we don't believe you if we don't know you.
Exactly. You have to
yeah.
have that rapport first because that's
Yeah.
the thing. Like,
Because sometimes we'll find out they didn't actually reboot. I'll check the
Sometimes
Windows
I'm gonna
uptime
be like-
and it's still 15 days.
it's like, fucking Joe, I thought he had this thing plugged in. I went down there, didn't even have a power cord in it.
The poor guys that think they do IT, like the guys that do new employment onboarding, like new people that come on, and they're like, yeah, man, I set up their accounts. I'm like, no, I set up their accounts and I gave you the password. And he's like, I set up their printer. No, I put the admin password in for you, dude. Like, yeah, you didn't do any of it, but they think they know everything. So when they call
Yeah.
into IT support, they're like, yeah, I tried this, that, and the other thing. And I'm like, how about restarting your computer? Ah, shit. No, I didn't do that. I just love checking Windows uptime and seeing that it's like, what's the longest one you've ever seen? I've seen like 6 months is my longest.
Oh, no, I've had years because I've worked on servers.
Oh, yeah.
So I've
yeah.
seen things that have never been touched.
with no update cycle or anything, so they're just
Oh,
sitting
wow.
there. Yeah.
I mean, I've done a lot of work for small companies that
Hmm.
once they get it built, that's the only time it's ever been touched.
And then they'll
Yeah.
hire somebody in an emergency. And
Yeah, they hire me because it's now no longer worky.
like, no wonder, dude. You're using Windows 2000. Like,
Yeah.
It's like 98 wasn't a server platform, bud.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well,
New topic?
yeah. What do we got
Well,
on
we
the
talked so
docket
long
here?
the screenshot off.
I feel
Well, I was
bad.
gonna say
yeah.
that
We blew through a lot of them there. Because we did the car keys one already.
Yeah.
You had complaint statistics percentage. I
Yeah,
don't
Yeah, we
know.
haven't gone over that.
It's not really anything crazy, but I did a little bit of research before coming on here.
We appreciate it.
Yeah. By the way, I saw some crazy shit about both of you. And you need to scrub your internet fucking rapport history. I saw some crazy shit.
Nah, it's somebody else's name, I promise. I'm not that famous.
I did Joe Nugent, and I'm like, holy shit. This guy has a podcast?
Fuck you. I one time went to the Apple. Did I tell you that time I went to the Apple store and I had an appointment for Joe Nugent, right? And they're like, "You're already." Oh no, you're not already here. Literally sat me next to another Joe Nugent in Lancaster, like right next. Like sat me, and I'm like, "No way, both got our licenses out." Like, yeah. The only difference is his was like skinny, mine was long because he was younger.
Yeah.
But you know the guy behind the counter at the Genius Bar is like, there can't be two of them. Make them sit next to each other.
Yeah, just to fuck with us.
Or he was like, delete that one appointment. He just did two duplicate appointments. Yeah.
Yeah, or like the other guy that got JoeNugent.com. I didn't get it. I'd be
Oh, you have the
Joe
Joe
Nugent.
Nugent.
Because, and you know what he also does? Like, he's a sportscaster, but still kind of in video production. I'm like, really?
Yeah, it's always something similar.
Yeah, I'm like,
I'm glad with my name. The last name I have is not even fucking close to anybody else. I don't think there's a single other
Mine
Noah
is
Harsani in the
so
world.
random. Like you're gonna find. Actually, if you Google me, you find a guy that's a pro fisherman.
Huh.
So
maybe you have it in you.
So I'm
I mean,
gonna
I could be a
Google,
pro
like when I
fisherman.
have kids, I'm gonna Google their names first to see who comes up. Hopefully somebody fucking cool comes up. What were we getting into though?
Your statistics.
Oh yeah.
but
so
you
we're
apparently
getting into
looked
the
up. You
fact
looked
you're gonna
up.
name your children serial killer names. Apparently.
Yeah, right before
Yeah.
that, and then before that, you were looking up my dick size on the internet. Apparently, apparently
you were
it's
like,
out there.
There was just a
Kanye's a
question
good
mark.
name.
They're like, hello.
It's like,
Do you really
it
want to
was
see
just
it?
a
Like,
graph, and it was only like
it was not like a big statistic, but it said the normal average person in America complains anywhere from 15 to 30 times a day. I just want to put it out there that I feel like that number is abnormally low. Because I'm complaining at least 47 times before I have my breakfast sandwich.
And it
That's
depends.
why this
like,
is a
that
perfect
is
podcast.
Heavily an average.
Yeah, I was gonna
'Cause
say,
we
how are
run
they
into-
generating that? Like, are they grouping it by like?
Are they
okay,
listening to people talk all day? Like,
Yeah, I mean, because Joe bitches about his tiny penis at
Complain-
least 30 times in a day. Like,
I knew those Google Homes and Alexas were listening to
no,
us.
but there's a fucking
They
guy.
are.
There's a fucking guy. Like,
no, it's one of those party clickers.
how many did you get today? What's your quota? I only got 12. You're fired.
Like the
They're
CIA
following
of
Joe
that.
around. They're getting fucking raises. He's like, I need another clicker, man. We're running out.
We wore the battery out in the button.
that
was
but
interesting.
yeah, I mean, 15 to 30. Like, Gabby, my fiance, at least 75, if not more, before
In
the
the first
afternoon.
hour?
So she's
yeah.
above average, is what you're
Yeah,
saying.
That's
Yeah,
it.
it's the only above average thing in her life.
Yeah.
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 I mean, that doesn't say well for you either.
That's
Like,
what I was getting at.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
He
yeah.
joined the Tiny Dick
I
Club.
was gonna
We're
say
all right.
he's on
That all
the
of these-
downward slope.
You didn't watch all the. You didn't have a chance. But at one point in time, all of these buttons said I had a tiny penis. At one point.
see, I like
in
that.
time.
Yeah, they
yeah.
did.
Yeah.
No, this fucker gave me 24 hours to.
It was
like
like
36,
It was like, yeah, it was like 26.
Yeah, I mean, you
hours.
got a little bit of notice. We
Because he was
reached
like,
out.
"Hey, you want to join the podcast?" And I'm like, "Yeah, but let me like actually watch some of these." Because I watched a couple of the early ones. I'm like, I wasn't sure if you changed the form or anything.
Right.
Like,
Well,
you
Andy,
moved
who
the storage
bitched
bins
out.
around, so
Yeah,
like,
we
hey,
did.
you did something.
Andy, who bitched out, never watched a single one before he showed up for the first one. So,
Most people
Yeah.
don't.
I mean, you're okay.
Yeah.
I like fresh meat. It's fine. It's like prison.
You like meat? Huh?
Yeah.
You're putting that on the internet.
Fresh meat.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay.
exactly.
All right,
You were fucking robot dogs, so give me a break.
Yeah, you want to talk about that? Do we
We did, or I don't know. We bounced it all around.
yeah.
IT support stories, Boston. We kind of did that already, right?
My
The
worst
car
IT, yeah.
keys. Why do websites make you click accept cookies? Is that really doing anything? I know it's because
I know
of
it's
the EU,
there
right?
was a law passed. Yeah, that's all I really
But
know
no-
about it. But I don't know.
It's a legality litigation thing.
Yeah, it's like how they forced Apple to switch to USB-C on their phones when they pretty much made USB-C a standard on their laptops before anybody else, and then wanted to keep it on their phones or Lightning on their phones because they were making a percentage of every Lightning accessory that was sold.
Yeah, because they had to MFI certify it in order for it to go out.
Right. So like every charger, even you bought one at Five Below, 75 cents of that was going to Apple.
Yeah.
But
In order
USB-C is
for
a
it to be a Lightning,
general
had to be,
standard,
yeah.
so nobody's getting paid for USB-C because I think it was co-produced by Intel and Apple, Thunderbolt,
At one
the Thunderbolt
point, yeah.
standard. But I think it's similar to cookies. Like I don't think the cookies are actually.
So right,
Like,
like,
I always
nobody.
click allow all. I always
Like,
click allow all.
I mean, yeah, with the lightning thing, and I get it. They had to make their, but it was like 10 years.
They went
Like,
way too long. So they
come
introduced the MacBook, like the thin and light one with just one USB-C port in 2015.
Oh
And
yeah.
so it took
Those
them,
bastards.
but it almost took them 10 years to.
Say joke and bitch about the missing ports for hours.
Dude,
Well,
so no,
video production. Give me a fucking break. These fucking people over here editing photos and shit. You're like, yeah, go fuck yourself. It's like, but video.
well, you got one with an SD card slot, right?
No, this is an Air.
Oh, you have an Air.
But I have the charger, so at least I have 2 ports.
Now,
because anything in video, you need to plug in 2 fucking hard drives to be able to back them up. And you are a fucking moron if you plug a hard drive into a dongle and think you're not going to blow that thing up.
Or if you're not going to have the same amount
that
of
thing you
throughput,
got on Amazon is giving power throughput all the way to that fucking hard drive. Fuck you.
Not.
Raise your hand if you blew up a hard drive
Even
that
if
way.
you get a reputable brand like Anchor or something, I still don't trust.
I
it
don't
for-
trust them
for-
either. Yeah,
for a spinning hard disk.
you watch
yeah.
LTT and you
Yeah,
know they
I
checked
love
some of that
LTT.
shit from Anchor and it's fucking junk.
Yeah, and then they stopped using them as a sponsor.
As a
I don't
sponsor,
think.
so you're like, well, who now?
yeah, you green.
Fucking Temu it is. Fuck.
You're gonna get one with USB 1.1 on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, the thing with the ports is, so I've seen Windows laptops, and I'm gonna put the average. It takes Windows to catch up to Apple in terms of stuff like that, around 5 to 8 years. So Apple in 2015, they did the 1 port disaster. You should have at least put 2, one for charging, one for I/O. But my laptop at work now is it's a Dell Latitude 9440. It's a nice laptop. It has a Force Touch trackpad like the MacBook. It doesn't actually click. It has the vibrating motor, which don't get me started on vibrating motors. I mean, yeah. The Boston Dynamics robot has 2 of them.
The dog. The dog.
I was going to ask Mike about the vibrating motors when he came over. I wanted to hear how many of those started going off up the steps, but you know.
Too many. No, but now my laptop at work, I switched from the not good laptop that they gave me, and I switched to this one that's supposed to be like way better.
Yeah.
It's better specs, whatever. It's an i7 as opposed to an i5, whatever. It only has 2 USB-Cs and a headphone jack. How the fuck am I supposed to do like actual?
No charging?
Just
Well-
USB-C. But we connect to docks.
I was going to
desk.
say it's because the docks for Dell are just 2 USB-Cs side by side, because even mine for work is that same.
It's
And
just
then-
ridiculous when I'm going up to somebody's desk, or even stupid shit like I use Logitech peripherals. I have to bring the unifying dongle, but that means I have to bring the unifying dongle and a USB hub, because I can't plug the unifying dongle into my computer because there's not a single full-size USB-C.
Or you got to buy a Bluetooth mouse. because
Right.
then
I
you
have
can
an
have
MX
the Bluetooth
Master at my
monitor.
desk, but I'm not taking that around with me to do like meetings and shit. But
And I get it. We're gonna get there where everything will be USB-C. But until
Apple
we get
switching
there,
the iPhone to
this
USB-C
sucks.
helped it a long way.
Right.
I think Lightning
but
was
as
holding
long
back
as
a lot of
Windows
people.
is there, still putting a regular USB on stuff. People
Well,
are
budget
still gonna be
laptops are going
buying
to get
them.
shit like that forever. I mean,
Right.
budget laptops, like I said, Apple around Windows about 5 to 8 years. Budget laptops, another 8 years after that. I mean, my grandpa bought a laptop a couple of years ago that had a 300 gigabyte spinning disk as its primary disk, with 4 gigs of RAM and a Celeron. I didn't even know they still made Celerons. Like,
Yeah,
fuck.
because anything that they're doing now that has like the cloud-based, where they're not too worried about the
Right,
internal
Chromebooks
storage.
are there. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
it's gonna
basically a
run off
VDI
the
laptop.
smallest thing
Yeah.
possible.
But like he's doing shit. I mean, he uses Word 2003. Like he made me come over and put and download Word from his disk that he pirated off of fucking LimeWire or some shit.
Well, that's because that's the only place you still get a 2003 disc. Is
Well,
LimeWire.
he's Hungarian, very thick accent. He's like, oh no, I only Word 2003. You know, I can't use new stuff. I can't. I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, if you use 365, it's pretty much the same. They haven't changed anything since then.
Yeah.
But he made me put the legacy 2003. That was a fucking whirlwind.
I mean, in his defense, I pay a monthly fee for my office.
Yeah.
He does not. 'Cause
He
stole it
LimeWire
to begin with it.
one
So,
time.
like,
Yeah. Well, there's no way to steal Microsoft products anymore with 365 from what I know.
because they has to pretty
Yeah.
much.
Well, don't they give it
validate
away?
the internet.
Because you can like go on to Microsoft and use the online version.
Well,
of
now they
Word.
have-
It's just like Google Docs, like you're using
Yeah,
right now. It's all
Now
exactly.
they have the
Yup.
new one that is the limited thing. So you pay, or you don't have to pay for it at all to use it, but the storage is like 1 gig. So it's like, hey, you finished that document. I need $5.
Well,
Yeah.
that's the stupid shit about that. Because didn't you have cloud computing on there or cloud
I
storage
do.
on there?
Yeah, we can go into that.
Yeah, I mean, so I'll start with mine. I just bit the bullet with Apple. I now pay $5 or $3 a month for 200 gigs. And
Those cocksuckers.
And then I bit the bullet with Google or Microsoft because I now have a gaming PC and I pay $2 a month for like 150 gigs or 100 gigs of OneDrive because I like the idea of my Windows laptop, merging with my gaming laptop in terms of programs and stuff like.
Now mine, I bundled my Office 365.
I don't have
in
that.
with my OneDrive, and that's what I pay. I think I pay like $8 a month.
I just signed into my work. Sorry, I signed into my work for my 365 subscription, but
I don't want my work touching my personal stuff.
I mean, I run the admin center, so it's like I know that nobody can actually look at my shit. Like it's not gonna.
I mean,
I just save it locally, and I don't save it to OneDrive, but.
I use Google Drive, but that's just because that's what I use. But I can justify it because of weddings. So I'll upload a wedding.
Well,
but
you can write that off too.
Yeah, exactly. It's $100 a year, 2 terabytes. I didn't think it was 1 terabyte. Then they gave a terabyte away for free.
But you're right.
Like, dope.
You said Apple cocksuckers. It's so true though because they give you $5 for free, and then they force you to do
5 gigs.
5 gigs.
5
You
gigs.
said $5, but yeah,
Oh, they
that's
give you
right.
$5?
Yeah, they give you $5 for free. Fuck you! What Apple thing gives you $5 for free?
Only 5?
Yeah.
Come on. No, but I get
5 gigs for free. It's just that's cruel.
It's just teasing you because you
That
can
is
even right out of the
cruel.
box, and iCloud backups more than 5 gigs. So my little sister, she can't even iCloud back up her phone because I'm not paying $3 a month for her shit.
Look,
Yeah.
that is the equivalent of the old floppy disk. And you're like, what am I going to put on this? 1.44 megabytes? I need 2003 Word to fit a file on this. Because that's what it is. Yeah, but I can agree that I'm not a giant fan of Apple's
I'm
backup
sucked into
plans
their
either.
ecosystem at this point.
But I'm in their
though,
ecosystem, so I have to. I'm doing the whole Apple One thing, even though I don't need all this shit. Like I don't need
I
the
don't do
fitness
that.
and all that. But
What's
for
that
me,
like though? What do you get? Is like $10
So I'm
a
paying
month?
$30 a month, but I'm paying for the family plan. So I mean, I've got a
that makes
kid and a
sense,
wife and all
yeah.
that, so we're all using it. But that gets you the Apple Music, it gets you the Apple TV, all the fucking news and shit. But like, it gives you the fitness stuff, and I'm like, yeah, I know I need the fitness, bud.
Well,
But-
for the Apple Watch, it's nice because like it does have a
Yeah.
lot of that fitness tracking stuff. Like I don't care about it, but it's nice to know I did 15,000 steps today. Like, oh yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
But
the best thing that Google's comes with is it gives me the YouTube, I think, doesn't it? Or no?
No, you
I
pay
the-
separately for the YouTube.
YouTube
I think
Premium
it
is a
used to, and then
scam.
because I don't pay for the, I don't get any commercials. That's worth it.
Throw an ad
yours is
blocker on
separate.
your computer, and then you're fine.
Yeah, but every other week they got you change.
Oh, see, I
it,
use Brave
so.
though.
And then what about my phone?
I don't know,
He's
man.
using the
Sucks to
Brave
be-
browser,
yeah.
so he's using a browser that's specifically doing
We
it.
do,
So
we do the millennial thing. You buy one thing, I'll buy the other thing, and then what's
I don't
the
pay
deal?
for a single streaming
We
service.
all live in the same household, right?
All the passwords are shared. The only one we can't get is Netflix because they cracked so hard down on
Not
that this year.
anymore.
Oh, they pulled back
I
on
just logged in last night. You can now pay $6.99 to add an outside of.
it. That's still
person
cheaper
to
than
your
what?
drive,
How
yeah.
much is their subscription now for their HD? Which is
25.
stupid that their basic one is still SD, I think, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
ridiculous.
Well, no, their basic.
Or
their
does it have ads and
standard
now
is
it's HD?
1080p. Yeah.
Right, and that came up from like $12 that it used to be.
Dude, I
Like,
remember
it
the
is.
days of $7.99. I was the one that
Oh,
we
yeah,
got.
that's
We
right.
canceled Xfinity cable and we
I
got an
remember
Apple
when
TV.
DVDs came in the mail.
I missed that part, but I did go to Blockbuster a lot when I was a kid. But it wasn't VHS; it was DVDs. But no, the subscription thing. So I used to work at Jersey Mike's, and I had a really good coworker there. He put me on his family plan. So it's like I'm not racist or anything. You might have to cut this, Joe. But if it makes it, so it's like Nadia, Luis, Orlando, Noah Harsanyi. it's just. But I'm on that. I don't know.
Better
if you
than
can
your
keep
name
that.
being Jeff.
Yeah,
Jeff
right?
would have threw it up more than Noah. Like it was like Noah's pretty.
But I'm on his family plan for Apple Music and
yeah.
Apple TV, so I've never had to pay for a single dime of that. The only whenever I have to pay for one because I steal so much from everybody else, I'm like fuck. I'm like I have to pay for Peacock. Come on.
My favorite is I'm on Joe's.
Everybody's just like, all right, I need to find another friend.
Yeah.
All right, I got this guy giving me this.
They're like,
this
I
guy's
need-
giving me this.
I
I
need
give
a
this
guy.
guy this thing and this thing. So it's like,
Who's got Paramount Plus? this
totally
week?
taking it to like underground, right? Like everybody, it's like a mafia version of it. We're like
Or you
passing
could-
all these around.
You could be like your dad and buy like a really shitty
Oh.
IPTV thing. Hey, no, I want HDMI splitter in one part of the house. And I want one IPTV. And this fucker has a TV in his bathroom, every room.
Yeah.
Sorry, Joe. Every room.
I have one in my
he's
bathroom.
Like, he's like, I want HDMI splitter for one IPTV, and I want it to go to every TV in the house. Every TV. I'm like, do you want to switch channels independently? He's like, yeah. I'm like,
Then you need an
yeah,
independent box.
you're gonna have to splurge on another $25 IPTV.
Yeah.
I'm glad
Oh,
they
he
called
goes
you.
you
my-
help him with that?
No way, dude. No, he
That
calls
shit
me and he's like, "Hey, I heard about this thing," and I'm like, "From who?" He's like, "I'm not gonna say my friend." I said, "Then call your friend. What are you calling me
He's
for?"
like, I bought these jailbroken Fire Sticks.
Yeah, you're like,
Dude,
I'm
we're
never-
watching sports games. We're watching
Dad.
the Super Bowl or some shit. It's like 2 minutes behind. It's like,
No. New Year's. New Year's was the best. We're watching the ball countdown. I'm like,
it's 12:07.
that says we got 3 minutes left. It's like now.
Dude, me and Gabby kissed 3 times in that whole
Yeah,
sequence.
because the TV in the one room was this. The TV in that room was this. I'm glad
It was
that we
like
don't get called to
2027.
install your dad's shit anymore.
"Oh my
though.
god, I know." I got out of that because I was like, "That's you." I told him, I was like, "Go, you're going on that at ledge.
Do
go
you
ahead."
remember when we had to install the wireless routers at your parents' house to make them all work together
the
for one
extender?
network because of how
Yeah.
large it is?
Did he do a
Yeah.
mesh network before mesh networks were cool?
Yeah, well, no, it wasn't a mesh network. It was
Kind of
3 independent networks, and we tried to mesh it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
tried
I
to-
went to
yeah,
I
we
went to
tried.
Eero about 4 years ago. I've
Oh.
been sucked into the Eero mesh
I'm
network.
I'm running Netgear's Orbeez.
That's what I
They're
have,
all pretty
yeah.
decent
Orbits
now.
or whatever.
Xfinity has, for everything I hate about Xfinity, they have some really good off-the-shelf ones now too. I've
Did
been
they
recommending
start?
to
Because they
people.
had the tower. I didn't know they had
You could get 3
You can buy
satellites.
those X pods.
They're like $100 for 3 of them.
Oh, okay.
Like I have my apartment isn't that big, but I have 3 Eero. I have one in the office, one in the living room, one in the bedroom, and it's great. I love mesh.
The nice part about having it from Comcast is like I got one guy to call.
Well, that's
because
the
when I
thing.
call, because
Yeah.
I own the modem, I own the router.
They don't give
the
a shit.
router guy blames the modem guy, and the modem guy blames the router guy.
Xfinity
Round
could
and round
not
you
give
go.
less of a shit if you don't rent their shit. Hey,
Yeah.
I'm having
Oh,
network.
yeah.
So I pay for gig. I get maybe 600 down most of the time, and I have a DOCSIS 3.1 modem, and I have Wi-Fi 6E.
They'll blame it on your modem.
Yeah, they're like, oh, I see you have an independent modem. Yeah, nothing I can do. I recommend
click.
that you rent our Wi-Fi 7 device for $20 a month. Well,
Yeah.
it defeats the whole purpose of me spending $300 to get my own modem
I
and
will
router.
say I ended up renting theirs because I had 2 of them get taken out by storm surges,
And they just replaced them.
and then I've got to pay for them.
Oh, you're saying when you had your independent
Yeah,
ones.
so then I
okay.
ended up just paying the $12 a month because then every time there's a new one I call and I'm just like, I want the new one. Like, I pay you every month for this thing. I want the new version. that
My
you're
whole thing is
marketing
the
to that guy.
opposite of that is in 1 year, it's $8 a month for the modem router combo? Or
Yeah.
In 1 month or 1 year of that, I could pay for my own modem and router. So
And
it's
I
like
agree
1
with that,
year-
and that was my mindset initially. But the problem is that when you're down and then you need one immediately,
Right.
and you don't want to have to go spend another $100 for
Or
it.
when a new Wi-Fi standard comes out and you maybe not want to be on the cutting edge. Like I don't have Wi-Fi 7. I don't expect to ever get Wi-Fi 7. But you could just always be like,
mean-
hey, my router died, and they give you a new one. And it
It'll be
has
like
to be
when we
standard.
were first starting out. Wi-Fi N was the coolest thing ever, but no computer did it.
Yeah. Dude, some computers are still coming with Wi-Fi N as their like they don't even have AC still. Some laptops still have really,
Really?
shitty Broadcom or whatever Qualcomm
Nice.
or yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
didn't know
Well,
that.
we use for the students we use some really budget laptops. So because
next-
it's much cheaper for them to break two $200 computers a year than buy them one $800 computer. So
So next time you call up and that guy tells you, because you called him up and he's like, you got your own independent modem. Sorry to hear that. You'd be like, I'm thinking about killing myself and jumping off a bridge. Maybe you'll get
And he's
another
talking about
fucking
a cruise.
hour out of it.
and then he's talking about a cruise.
Yeah,
And he's gonna be like, "Well, I had this coworker one time, and what I recommend is you call AT&T and see if they have a job."
Like, oh my god, the girl that quit after saying she was going to jump off the building and now works for FirstNet?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
How long we been talking? Wow. An hour and 25.
Yeah.
Oh, we did it. We didn't get
I mean,
through half of that
is there?
shit.
Is there
I
another
know, I was
topic?
actually
that-
kind of disappointed. That's
Is there a
all right.
last topic that Noah would like to sum it up with that he really wants to talk about?
Yeah, did we miss any that I really...
Well, the next one, I mean, we kind of touched on it. It was what your storage you used, and then
Yeah.
what AI you use at work. So it's
We
like,
can talk about AI to wrap
can
it
end
up.
with
if you
AI.
wanna
to wrap it up with what AI we do at work? All right.
Yeah. I mean, I
Well,
really
because
wanna-
there's like, I think to open it up, right? It was like there's AI, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, everybody's using AI at work.
generative
and some
talking AI, yeah.
correct, like
ChatGPT,
ChatGPT, whatever. I'm not naming them.
Whatever large language model you're using.
Yeah.
And a lot of them
But-
just use OpenAI.
Yeah,
so.
but it's almost like the rebirth of the internet in a way, where it was like companies got the internet and they didn't really know what to do. Then all of a sudden they got a virus or something, but now they're like, oh shit, we need all this stuff in place.
Now they're
So
just like,
we're
let's
redoing all
Oh,
of
yeah.
that with AI because it's a whole new world.
I think it's ridiculous. I think that they are using it and it's not working, and people are taking it as gospel. And they're like, yeah, I mean, the AI on your website told me that this was going to work, and it didn't.
Yeah, but I
So-
think we've done that before too. You're like, I read a forum and it said this is the problem, and you're like, dude, that doesn't even exist.
I like generative AI to a point. I use it every day at work. And it's really great for quick question and answer. I don't have to scour Reddit anymore. I still
Yeah.
like scouring Reddit, but if it can summarize everything for me in about 30 seconds, everything that would have taken me an hour to find, I like it because I do a lot of Microsoft stuff, a lot of Microsoft admin and Duo and Cisco stuff. So I use Copilot.
Okay.
I did not like Copilot at first, but as it's gotten better, I've liked it. It's integrated into Windows. It's pretty good. ChatGPT's okay. I used it in school. That's how I graduated college. I mean, it just started out right at, when was it, like 2022? 2021?
About that, yeah.
Yeah.
And I the last 2 semesters of school, they didn't know what to do with it. So everybody's papers just looked fucking identical. And they just had different topics, and they're like, yeah, you know what? There's nothing we can do about it. We're a commuter school anyway, so fuck it.
Oh, yeah.
So they just passed us with it. But ChatGPT definitely has some issues. I don't love the responses it gives sometimes.
Are you playing with any of the other internal models, like changing the actual model from like the
No.
3.5 to the 4 to the?
I don't pay
4.0?
for 4. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
was
I would
just
love to
curious,
hear
but-
your thoughts on 4.
I was just curious because each different thing that's coming out now, like everybody keeps telling me that Grok is the best. The Elon Musk Grok model is the best. I haven't played with it yet, but I
Do you have
understand
to pay? I don't know how to access that. I've heard in the news. I didn't know we
Well,
could
typically,
access
if
it.
you pay for like OpenAI's premium, you can then just change which engine you're using. You're like,
Oh, so it's part of OpenAI, though.
well, you're using a different language model through OpenAI.
Yeah,
So
I just
they're
meant
the-
like I go
Just
to
like how
Google for
Avatar-
Gemini. I go to Microsoft for
But you can
for
go to,
Copilot.
Gemini and still pick like the Grok model. I think as long as you pay for like the premium feature to change the
like
language model.
Siri has OpenAI
So
integrated now, and you can
Grok
change
is a
what language model
version
it uses.
then?
It's
I'm
a,
confused.
It's a large language model, so it's a trained model. It's a trained thing that already has some intelligence to it, and now you're going to ask it a question compared to the OpenAI 4.0 model.
Oh, I thought every company was building their own version of that.
I mean,
of
kind
like what
of.
GPT
I've just
is.
seen so many
that's
that
why it
are
seemed
just-
like
they
weird
just
that
ju-
everybody would use that model then, and OpenAI would just be cool.
But
with
that's
it.
why we had that problem where the deep search was such a big controversy because it took way less money and amount of time to train their model than other people. So they weren't having the same footprint.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why they thought maybe they stole a previously trained model and stepped it up.
I like the fact that OpenAI is kind of taking it as the standard. We can use them as the standard to change which ones they have.
Yeah.
So it's not like we're using 16 different ones, but it is getting to that point, and that's what I am not liking about AI now is every website has it. Every website has a different version of it.
Yep.
I can't do a normal Google search anymore without seeing it. And have you ever done a Google search where you Google search the same thing twice in 2 different tabs, and it's completely different responses
Yep.
from their generative AI? I've dabbled with Perplexity a little bit.
I was going to say, if you have
Yeah.
Comcast, I do recommend trying Perplexity because you get a year free of it if you have the Xfinity. Like,
now, how do I
gigabit.
get to that?
My coworker uses
So
it,
it's-
so I tried it.
So
It's all right.
Perplexity is just an app or a website. Perplexity.ai is the
okay.
website.
So they're their own website.
But when you go there, you get it, if you have Xfinity as your wireless provider or your internet provider, you get a year free of their premium. And in that, you can change it to do their deep research models. You can change it to do their different language models and pick
Yeah.
those things. And that's where some of them are really good at things like pictures, and some of them are really good at like describing things. So they all have their different purposes in the end.
Now, are you
Yeah.
guys worried about it for the future, though? Like, I'm not.
I'm not concerned about it for the future. We actually had this conversation on the podcast before.
Oh, okay. Then I won't get into it again. But
no,
I
no,
mean,
we can
it's
talk
like,
I mean, we revisit it.
I- I'm
you
not
get
as-
your side.
I'm
on
just
it
not
too,
as
but-
worried about it as everybody makes it out to be. Other than like video generation and images when they start to get much better. Like right now, they're like, I'll say Adidas sweatshirt and it'll have like a Nike logo and it'll say like,
Yeah, we
fuck
talked
you.
about that, like why
yeah.
it doesn't do that. We did talk about. My thing is, I don't think AI is ever going to get to the point where it matters or even makes a difference other than as a tool. And we talked about
And
this
it's been
because
a great
I
tool.
feel
Yes.
like the way AI is designed, it reads all this data and it trains on it, right? The problem is we're going to keep putting things into it. And the dumber those people putting things into it are, the less it's going to fucking learn.
Yeah.
So the worse it's going to get, because it's going to be like, yeah, I've heard that, the chemtrails are real 400 times. And I've read one article online that says they're not, kind of deal at a certain point. And that's where I feel like at some point AI is going to shift and we're going to have to start putting the guardrails back up again to go, okay, you got to stick to like it used to be for school. You'd write a paper and they'd be like, it can't be Wikipedia, has to be, a reviewed source or a reference source.
I could just see like pop-up menus popping up to where you can only ask it specific questions that the website has for you. Like you can click on, when was blank made or something, as opposed to asking it really stupid fucking questions like some people do.
Yeah.
But I've had conversations with AI. I know it sounds sad, but I've had like really
I use it as a therapist prompt sometimes just to like chat with a therapist because I don't feel like paying the $200 a visit. It's cheaper.
It's honestly a great. Sorry, go ahead.
I was saying that I was going to do it on the podcast, because you can do...
Just have a conversation with
Yeah, like some of them you have to
something.
pay for as a number, but Gemini didn't restrict me at all so that I could do... Because some are like 10 minutes or something like that. And it's like, I'm not going to be able to get into it, like have it on the pod, like sit it here and like have it be part of the conversation.
ChatGPT
I wonder
is
if
pretty
it
good.
could do that, because it's meant to be ask a question, answer a question, but I don't think it could handle like being part of a group like
No,
this.
we would have to
And
take
then how would we...
turns and-
It would have to just be a solo one between you and the AI.
Yeah, we would have to stretch it.
I would love that, an hour and a half of Joe talking to
Me and
ChatGPT.
my phone.
Yeah,
right?
Joe
It'd
and
be-
his phone.
We ran out of hosts.
I ran out of fucking people.
I don't have
Instead
any
of-
more friends to
Instead
ask.
of Lars and the real girl, it's Joe Nugent and his phone.
I mean, it's not a terrible idea. Dumbest thing.
I am in fully agreement with you, though. I think it's going to be a great tool. I use it as a great asset at work all the time now. I work with, are you familiar with Atlassian and Jira?
Yeah.
So my boss wants me to get more into that, and I wanted to talk about this with AI. It's really great. It's a ticketing system, but it's so much more than that. There's
It's a
so many
project
different...
managing system, yeah.
There's so many apps and integrations you can put into it, automations. Eventually I'm going to create something where it creates all of our AD accounts when a new hire comes in. But right now we have automations so I set up all the iPads for kids, and it'll come in as a new request from special ed, and because they're for the special education department for kids that can't talk, and they can just press. So it'll come in. I'll put it into IT provisioning. We'll provision it, and then we'll move it over to shipped, and then it'll send an email, and you can use custom fields to edit the email. So hey, Martha's iPad shipped, and it'll send an email automatically. So it's pretty cool. But I use Copilot for everything with that, to anything that I need for it, because it's such a new thing that it can scour forms for me and find all the answers for me almost instantly.
The other thing you can do is you can set it up to actually to monitor an email address that you set up as a dummy, so that when those tracking notifications go out, it can actually just read and say that number's already been done and mark it shipped for you.
See, and
You
this
don't
is
have
the
to
kind of
take the
stuff I
time
need to
do
learn. So
that extra. But that's why
I want to
they
go to
do offer
Atlassian
a
or do the
shit ton of-
Atlassian University stuff. So
I don't think you're going to learn a lot from Atlassian University. What you have to keep in mind is that if they have an integration for it, you want to check out their site and see what APIs they offer, because that's where you can dig in and be like,
well, and that's what I'm using. Smart
wanna do
Jira
this,
forms
yeah.
or Jira Smart Forms, whatever they're
Yeah.
called. They have so many different FAQs and stuff that you can. But I was just getting at, it's really good for Copilot's great for asking basic questions like that, or even really in-depth questions. I'm not a programmer, but if I need a quick PowerShell script or something and I know exactly what I want, I can ask it to write a PowerShell script, and because it's integrated with Microsoft, I get a perfect PowerShell script and I can put right into...
And see, that's the difference, the way we're using it. You're not a programmer, so you're not using it for that purpose, but I am a programmer,
Right.
so I'm taking it, I'm saying, I look at this code, these are the things that I would find wrong with this code, so I put it through, and I'm like, what do you find wrong with this code, just to see what it picks out. And most of the times I'm either close or off, but sometimes the things it's picking out are just pedantic. They don't really matter. It's more of a
syntax
formatting
or
thing.
something, yeah.
And you're like, I get that maybe we call that out, but really it doesn't change syntactically how the things work.
Yeah.
So it's trying to make it more efficient, at least in its eyes, at least, or...
But that's where the thing is, you have to be very careful how you use AI. I'll use it too. I'll use it to write my letters or an email I'm going to write to somebody. I'll have it write the first draft, and then I go through and just edit it, because
I don't understand the people
Yeah.
that write their email and then ask it to change it to a different saying or a tone, because then it completely rewrites it, and then you have to go through anyways and proofread everything it writes.
I understand it in the context of when you get to a manager position, you will deal with different people that need different perspectives, but the same thing. So you're doing it because you want it to keep the core argument, but change the wording. But you're still going to have to read it and revise it before you hit send.
Sure.
Because AI hallucinates like nobody's business.
The Battle of 1812 was in 1815. Like, no. Or War of 1812.
And we have to be careful what we're putting into it, obviously, because everything we're putting in is obviously being collected for later. And I feel like it'll bite us in the ass at some point.
It's just like
I was really
Xbox Live
amazed,
chats,
like,
you know?
like the one robot we have at work is not that well known, but it walked me impressively far through the manual, like to certain areas where I was like, that was impressive because it's not that well known. Like, it'd be like, hey, how do I make a new document in Excel? Yeah, it's going to know that. But the specific question I was asking about it, I was like, wow, I wasn't giving away any company information.
Yeah.
But still, I was like, I don't want to have to go through the manual. You go through the manual. And I didn't have to tell it where the manual was. I mean, I obviously told it what robot I was working with. But then it found the manual and looked at all that stuff. And I was like, so that was the one time where I was like, wow, I was impressed with how much information is really like inside of there and how much they've really collected, which I think is what people are really giving a shit about.
Well, yeah, that's why ChatGPT, you saw it just get better so quickly. It used to have a hard cutoff date of what information it could access, and now it can access mostly current information. I know you had that up and we didn't get to it, but it got so good so quickly. But we also have to, like you guys were saying, it's kind of like going back to the old days where they were teaching programming in school before my time. It's like, make a peanut butter jelly sandwich. Like, how do you make one? You have to explain every line of it.
Yeah.
And some people will just be like, I spread peanut butter and jelly on bread and put it together. And it's like, no, you need to go through every single instruction line.
This person's never seen bread before.
Yeah.
They don't know what a bread tie looks like. They
What
don't
is
know
bread?
Yeah.
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 They don't know what the
What
difference
is peanut
between
butter? The
seeded,
Boston Dynamics
non-seeded
don't
bread
know.
is. Yeah. Yeah, and then it's like, should you use chunky or creamy peanut butter when dealing with Boston Dynamics robots?
Smooth.
See.
Yeah.
But
I didn't need
is
to-
there
I
a
didn't-
lot of that going on, though? I mean, I think
A
I
lot
asked
of
this
licking-
Yeah, a lot of the peanut butter going into the dog.
Probably.
$300,000 dog,
How
and that's
does
all
it
it does.
taste, the peanut? No, but we have,
Metallic.
damn it. But we have like Boston Dynamic robots, and then we got all this smarts over here. It just seems like a matter of time before all that shit goes together.
What do you
and
mean?
like the dog's gonna
So-
figure it out himself. You're not programming the dog, right?
It's like
No, you're
Terminator.
never
It's going to
gonna-
kill me
yeah,
eventually.
like Terminator level shit. I mean,
You're
you
never
said
gonna
where
have
it's gonna
that.
go and whether we're scared of it.
But Boston Dynamics, the
But
dog...
once it gets downloaded into something like that,
But
and
you
then it
think
can
that would
update
happen to
itself.
look at
I
it
don't
this way.
know.
If you had a dog that had even
No,
enough,
not a dog. The humanoid robots that they're doing.
well, I'm talking about, like, let's just use the dog for an example
Okay.
here. If you had a dog robot that had the ability to learn and things like that, and you downloaded a program into it, at some point it's going to run out of memory. So how does it increase its memory? Is it going to go to the store and buy a flash drive and have that soldered into
And if we
its
never
brain?
told
Like,
it, if we never told it how to increase its memory,
yeah, if we never, and it might be able to look that up, but do you really think it's going to succeed at like opening its own chassis and like soldering another board in just to get
that's
three
why I'm
more
never
chips?
worried about, like, so Tesla showed off those humanoid robots at the beginning of the year that were,
They were
waiters and waitresses.
real.
No, they had headsets behind the scenes, but eventually they wanted to get to where they don't have to have any human integration at all.
It was a version.
But
it
I
was
would,
a
fantasy. But I'm never worried about them actually like overtaking the universe or world or anything, because, like he said, there is always going to be a limit to computing.
Yeah.
And even when we hit that limit to computing, there's going to be a limit of something else because
Did
we're
Microsoft
at the
just
point
I mean,
now-
you say
Element or
that, but
something? Or
like a
new,
Chromecast, how powerful a Chromecast is because it's connected to the internet. It doesn't have the internet inside.
yeah,
of it.
look how quickly
connected.
Google can brick them with one update,
Well, yeah, that's true. But do whatever, and Google's in charge of them.
right?
Yeah.
That's why it's going so quickly, and just seeing all this stuff change in the span of 2 or 3 years, it's insane.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I forget whose
advancement
law
is
it was, but
extremely
there was a law
fast.
where computing power doubled every 2 years.
Yeah, it used to be, yeah.
Yeah, and that stopped. And then
Well, that's because we went from computing power to using it in the graphical power now, so it's much more exponential because we're doing way more threads now than we were at the CPU level.
Right.
And it's being...
Right, and we can only get so far. I think we're at, what,
compounded.
3 nanometers or 2 nanometers, the smallest we can get with CPU.
I have no idea.
I couldn't imagine
Stuff
getting down
changes
to
so
1
quickly, I
nanometer.
couldn't even keep track.
Yeah, Microsoft created a new element or a new piece of something. Or a new state of matter. They created a new state of matter. It's not gas, it's not liquid, it's not solid. It's something in between liquid and gas. Like Microsoft just created that. That's fucking wild.
I didn't hear about that.
I didn't hear
don't
about that either. Are you AI and hypnotizing on us right now?
Right?
Are you telling us
No,
that
we
doesn't exist?
No, because I have a bladder that
peel
is
his
full
face
right
back
now
and
that
we
has to
always
pee.
knew.
So.
we did have AI on the podcast.
We had
today.
AI and we never knew.
No, I mean, a quick thing with Microsoft that you guys know about what they're doing with 3 Mile Island, though.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And I don't know what your opinions on that are, but we were just talking about that, Mike and I, last night. I watched a little video about that on YouTube. They are using the as much antiquated hardware as possible in that thing.
Yeah.
Anything that isn't, or that is failing, they're replacing. But like they showed inside of it, it's like 1970s equipment. Like it's all old shit. But I think it's really cool what they're doing. Like AI uses a lot of power. You ask it to tell you how to make a good Caesar salad, it's using enough energy to light your house for, I don't know, a couple minutes.
That's what I've heard. Like, because like obviously I use AI to help me with this show, and like I mean obviously the amount that it's improved
that's
in
the
just
thing-
that short of time. I've been doing this show for 3 months.
Yeah.
But like it used to just give me topics, and now it's writing me whole essays
And that's
on like
why
how
I
to do
think
this show.
It'll never take
Freak.
over, because even when we get to the point where computational power doesn't run out and it can upgrade itself at the whim, the power supported behind the scenes to provide that will get to be finite. We're going to get to the point where it's not going to be able to generate it fast enough to consume it.
And that's why a big company
keep
like
going.
Microsoft just invested in when did 3 Mile Island almost explode? In the 80s? 90s?
like
I don't think
Yeah.
I was born yet.
I wasn't born yet.
There's a reason
So it was
why
in
they
the
are
70s or
investing
80s.
in a fallen apart nuclear power plant in the middle of East Bumblefuck, because they need that amount of power. They're not putting the servers on site, from what I know. They're sending the power to our grid, and then Microsoft's taking an equal amount of power from our grid. So we're technically getting that power from 3 Mile Island. It's just Microsoft's taking an equal amount of that power. I think it's pretty cool what they're doing. But
It is, but like
how
I
much
feel
power
like,
is too much power? Like,
Well,
when are
yeah,
we gonna
and then the
run out
level of people that are using it right now are only the people like us that are interested in it and know
or
and that
Kathy
level.
that opens up a random FAQ thing on a website and tries to ask a question, and it's AI that answers.
It's getting
Yeah.
there, but like they're not using it to the power we are.
No.
But
I
when
use it
they
every day,
do,
yeah.
and when they have to, like you guys are saying, like what we were talking about, their job will be to interact with AI.
Yeah.
So right now they're not consuming much power, but they will be.
Well, even like at work, we can set it up to the point where you can tell it, this is my role, so make sure you're forming all your responses with this context in mind. And then you can actually link AI to itself. I've actually watched this during the one Microsoft presentation. You can set it up to say, I want this AI to be the role of a project administrator. I want this AI to be the role of a software development. And they argue with each other and then
really
give you the answer back.
Wow.
Just through that process. But you can actually look to see the entire thread of like how it determined between the two which compromise to take.
Yeah, I was watching it when it was doing the deep research.
Yeah.
You could see it doing the research.
Yeah.
What websites it was going to, why it was going there, what it was trying to do. It's like,
And it's doing
holy
all that
shit.
right there. And it's
Yeah.
like-
I mean, it took it a couple minutes. Like,
yeah. But
And
for
that's
us,
because
5
it's got
minutes,
spin it,
but-
yeah.
but for us to do that research,
but what it wrote out was what would take a college student 2 weeks.
it's like
Yeah.
a thesis statement.
yeah, like that thing that it spit out was 26 pages, and I was like, I asked for bullet points,
Yeah.
and then I feel like a dick. Like it was like spent all this time. Like
I know you did all that work, but shorten
I-
it.
I'm already so.
I
I don't want
burnt up 40 houses worth of thing and go, no, that's not right. And I'm like, fuck me. And I'm so sorry. Like I felt like I had to apologize.
forest to shorten it.
I know. I'm like, fuck. I just burnt out the sun
This
because I
motherfucker
said
just
the.
wants to know how to make a BLT, and it spews out 30 pages.
I'm like, fuck. I just wanted 50 bullet points.
These fucking kids don't have a house to live in, but this kid just wants to make the best BLT possible.
Like, I'm so sorry. Oh.
All right, so AI is never going to overtake us, in my opinion. But I mean, I
It's
think
going to be a
gonna
great asset for,
It's going to be a
everybody.
tool being used everywhere. but
Similar
it's never
like
gonna
everything else. Automation was supposed to take everybody's jobs. The internet was supposed to ruin everything, or I guess computers, then internet.
Google
and
search
now
was
we
supposed to
have
be that,
AI.
yeah.
It'll just be another tool that people use.
I love it. I really
But
do.
it's all like fucking all over the place.
But
Like
it's
the
just-
internet took a while to find its place where it belonged, and we had to chain it in for people, getting looked up on their Facebook and getting fired for
Exactly,
shit.
yeah.
And now you know. So it'll be the same.
But it's just like, yeah, I totally lost what I was going with there.
That's all right.
That's what
At
the
this
buttons are
point,
for.
Yeah.
I think we've handled most of the stuff for the episode, so I think we've hit all the topics.
Yeah.
Next time we have Noah on, though,
Noah was a terrible guest.
I have a concept for the next time we invite Noah on. He's never seen a Steven Seagal film.
make his ass fucking sit here and watch
So
it.
we should make him
Let
watch
me know in the
a
comments
Steven
if I should
Seagal.
like actually come back to the next episode because I'm not doing any research.
Put in the comments which one. Should we make him watch Under Siege, Marked for Death, Hard Target?
So it's just gonna be a watch show. I'm just gonna be sitting here the whole time. Holy shit! Holy shit!
That guy does kind of look like Joe.
Yeah, but I won't look him up in case this does happen. So.
I'll do techniques on in live action. That'd be great.
I had a great time, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for filling in. You know. So yeah, appreciate it. All right, guys. Thanks for joining in. Like, subscribe, share it with some random text message that was sent to you today.
Notification bell because we never know when this episode's going to come out.
Joe
Yeah,
never knows
because
when he's gonna
as we've
post it,
learned
so.
via time here, Joe doesn't do well with it.
Gabby and I might be married before this episode comes out, and we just got engaged.
There we go.
Or they could be married, divorced, have 7 kids, maybe married again.
There it again.
I mean,
And then we'll really get Mike's opinion.
Because Joe is running on 5 megabit internet here too, so it's going to take him a while to get it up there.
Why don't you get Starlink?
Don't even start.
They don't offer it here. It's too many trees.
Yeah, the trees. All right, guys. Later.